Wake up, gamers, because you're listening to the Big Think Dimension with Dan and Bob Video Games. So it's an emote, and it's Banny in a Bane mask.
Please stop.
KZ Excellent.
I'm optimistic about things.
And Mr. Feel.
Pretzilla soft pretzel hamburger buns.
Here on GigaBoots.
The amount of common design elements I found during our very short 17-hour and 10-minute marathon of Mega Man games 1 through 7 and Game Boy 1 through 3 and half or 4. Between all of the Minakuchi engineering games and also Inti Creates is fucking mind-melting. I found rooms that are in Mega Man 9 back in 3 on the Game Boy.
Ooh.
It's fucking...
Callback.
It's fucking weird.
Yeah, they're just like, obviously the team at Inti just played those Minakuchi games and then went from there. They didn't, they weren't involved in creation. Oh, that'd be weird.
That would be
So as someone Dan tricked into playing Mega Man 3 on the Game Boy, yes, there is a very similar energy to the jumps in Mega Man 3 on the Game Boy and Mega Man 9.
Yeah.
Like they feel the same.
It's weird. 3 on the Game Boy, just to cut straight to the chase and talk about that, because while there are things to note about each Mega Man game, I'm not going to do that. All I'm going to say is 7 feels bad, but it has so many enjoyable things about it that, you know, it's still a good one. I'm gonna still keep
like
it in the
Rush
good Mega Man game. No, that's one of the worst things in any Mega Man game.
It is. But 7, yes, I like 7 a lot.
7 has
definitely in the top half.
It has great music, it has great robot designs, it has pretty good ideas for themes, and it has the most challenging Wily battle without just like some of these games we're going to talk about, like 3 on Game Boy, just being complete horseshit.
And it was the first game to do like wacky, okay, you have this power, if you use it right here, something funny will happen, and it's not the boss's weakness, which is always what I didn't like about 11, because it does that, but it's always the weakness.
Yes.
Mega Man burned down the forest.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
great.
My cooler older brother who wears shades and definitely doesn't do drugs told me to burn down the forest if I wanted to see something cool. But
hey bro, can I have $20, Dad? Cut me off.
Oh, Jesus Christ. But let's cut to the chase. Let's talk about Mega Man 3 on Game Boy, the game that ended the 17-hour and 10-minute fucking live stream marathon of Mega Man games. Bob went to sleep 5 hours earlier. It was just me locked in the chamber with it. Feel has tried it. Feel tried the part of the game that's the drastically easier part, but he still got to experience some really good things, like every E-Tank in the game is a nightmare, basically.
I couldn't get it. It's like I beat all 11 of these on stream. Like I'm not bad at Mega Man, but I cannot get this E-Tank.
It's a pixel perfect jump at a specific time, lined up with enemies, with you entering a screen to shoot a bird at an exact moment, and after all of this, doing a pixel perfect jump to a thing to get an E-Tank in this nightmare room where if you get hit, you drop 2 full screen heights. And
yeah, hit stun is so long in this game that if you get hit on the ladder, you're going to the bottom,
just way down. It's excruciating. And I sat there and I told Feel he had tried this twice. He did the loop twice of try to get this thing carefully, get knocked down, fall down 2 whole full screen heights, and have to crawl his way back out of hell. Because in that middle screen, the one he just passes up, there is a shield dude or whatever. He has to do an engaged. Yes, he has to do an engaged battle with it to get back to the screen he was at. He does this twice, and I'm like, yeah, Phil, I'll let you know right now, I had to do this 4 times before I got that E-Tank. And I was like, he's probably going to just get it on his second time just to clown on me. No, I think you tried 3 times. You did the loop 3 times, and you're like, I'm out. I'm done.
Because I was going to die. I was out of health, and I'm like, no, I can't. Because I kept getting fucked by the fact that the game is wrong. Like, its core Mega Man-ness is wrong.
Yes.
And your muscle memory will get you killed.
It's like if somebody, Mega Man 1 feels slippy compared to later ones and off in a few ways. This is like Mega Man 0 or -3. Like,
yeah, because specifically what kept throwing me off is when you get to this, you climb a ladder into the screen the E-Tank is on. There is an enemy coming towards you from the side. In every other Mega Man game, you climb fast enough that you could just keep climbing and you would avoid them. not in this. And I got hit by him like 3 times because I'm like, well, obviously I just did it wrong. I know you climb faster than this. It's a Mega Man game, but no, not in this one.
Yeah, in a normal Mega Man game, the amount of space in game to get from the bottom to the top of one of these Game Boy screens would take you like 4 seconds, if even, maybe 2 or 3. In this, you're like moving through molasses. So it's like 10 seconds to climb a ladder. And it's like, how is it this slow? It's nuts. And on top of that, the second half of this game, the difficulty goes up so insanely that there's a jump in one of the levels that was so fucking hard. It was nearly pixel perfect. Like, it basically required it to be pixel perfect or you would just die. I went, okay, I'm just going to not do this level first from this set of 4, and I'm going to go find the boss that has the fucking rush jet. Because I know rush jet has to be in here. It was that fucking bad. And after dealing with this horseshit and beating the second set and just being like, oh, thank God, it's fucking over. I get to the final boss. The final boss, his level's fucking enormous. Someone in chat said it was 31 screens, and I easily believe that. Because this shit took me 30 or 40 minutes to beat this one level in a Mega Man game. I've never had an experience like that in my life. So it's just this giant level, this final level in this game. They reuse a mini boss from that you beat before you did the second set of bosses, the second set of 4. So it's like, okay, that's weird that they reused that. This entire level is made with identical rooms. So you'll leave a set of rooms that's like a stair thing. You'll do a flat surface that runs you to the right, and then you'll run into that exact same set of stairs, but there are different enemies in it. And then you'll run on a thing that takes you to the right that has slightly different jumps. And then you run into another set of stairs with another type of enemy on it. And it's like, how? No other Mega Man game in my life has done this. They just really didn't want me to beat this game. And then you get to the final boss. And the motherfucker might as well have just fallen on its ass and died the second I entered the room. It's embarrassing. The weirdest part was I was so exhausted by the time I hit the end of this. I was like, chat, I'm not even going to try this boss once before looking up this video. Let me look up this video. The long play I find is a dude so perfectly playing the boss fight wrong that he gets owned by missiles that will simply fly overhead if he waited half a second longer to move each time. But because he moves exactly when he does, it homes the missiles exactly where he needs to stand to not get hit. And he just gets hit every fucking time. And I'm like, is this a speedrun trick? This AI looks so dumb. He must be manipulating it by getting hit by this rocket. This doesn't make sense in any other world. And I watched another video and it's like, no, if he just waited half a second longer, he wouldn't have been hit by anything in this entire boss fight. Like, how? How do you make such a nightmarishly long and difficult level to cap it all off with the easiest Wily fight in all of Mega Man? After that, we did a stream later to play Mega Man 4 and 5 on Game Boy. Yeah, those are pretty great. I still think 2's neat. I still think 1's kind of neat, but it's real rough. So really, my number one advice is, if you don't want to play a jank Mega Man game, don't play a Mega Man game on Game Boy, period. Yeah. But if you don't want to play a really jank Mega Man game on Game Boy, don't play 1. If you want to play the best one, play 4 probably. And then if you want some weird ideas for what a Mega Man game should do, like I don't know, maybe a cat boy that's a robot master named after a celestial body that does push-ups to impress you as it arches its back.
Every robot master in 3 is weird because they are just redrawn old sprites.
You mean 5?
Yeah, 5.
Yeah, they take Wave Man and they put an extra prong on his head and they're like, that's Neptune. I'm like, what? They take Toad Man and they slightly change his face and they're like, yeah, that's Jupiter.
Yeah, they put a cannon on Napalm Man's head and he's Mars now. I think that Star Droids are really neat conceptually.
They are.
Like, I like the concept of naming them after the planets and them having like some of them are pretty good. I think Uranus is pretty good because he's like the bull guy.
One moment. Let me.
Like even though that's just Charge Man, like I think that's a pretty good one.
Yeah, no, he's pretty cool. I kept calling him Blizzard Buffalon't.
Oh man, for some reason I thought the cat one would be green because of Tango, but no, he's purple.
Which one was he? Was he Mercury?
Pluto.
Okay, so he was Pluto. Okay.
Now I'm sitting here looking at Pluto's art and I'm like, is this part did the person who designed Zover just fucking love Pluto?
There you go, Casey. There's a picture of Pluto.
Oh,
I love it.
no.
That's so hilarious.
Oh, 6'4", by the way.
I think in the comics, all the Robot Masters from 5 on Game Boy are in there, and it's like, yeah, the supercomputer from Super Adventure Rockman made them.
Oh, I didn't even notice the tail.
Oh yeah, no, there's the tail. It flicks around as he does his cool push-up. Very cool. Pluto's very, very cool. But yeah, anyways, Mega Man 5 has some interesting designs for Robot Masters, but your charge shot is your fist flying out, which is kind of awful in its own way. 4, the charge shot knocks you back. There's no reason for that. Why the hell they do that?
Because they're criminals. They made Inti after this.
Yeah, Minakuchi Engineering has some very, very weird ideas about how to make a unique entry in a long-running franchise. But yeah, no. There's this really weird trope that starts in 4. I think it carries to 5 fully, and then it's just there in X3, where it's like every enemy in this game needs a fully charged shot plus 1 bullet.
That would make me quit.
It's so weird. It's so weird. They're like, if it's just a fully charged shot, that's too easy. The shot could go through them all. It needs to be a fully charged shot plus 1 bullet. But yeah, no, the theory that Minakuchi Engineering just evolved into the company Inti creates gets stronger and stronger as I play more of these fucking Mega Man games that they made. Holy piss. But that's all that I've played from the last week that's noteworthy. I can share some tragedy though. We set up the Neo Geo and the audio doesn't work, so I'm sending it back to the modder.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's been a fucking year and a half of trying to get a Neo Geo set up and going.
Yeah, it's really rough.
It's fucking sad. But hopefully that will be an easy fix. I have nothing else to talk about other than real life stuff. But people already saw that on Twitter if they care. Hey, Bob, did you play anything in the last week?
I did. I actually played this over a week ago, but forgot to talk about it on the last podcast.
Oh, that's right.
Disgaea RPG for phones came out.
Yes,
Oh,
like
hell.
Tim and
Yep,
Eric.
it sure did.
Tim and Eric's $1 million movie.
Yes.
Or the Aqua Teen. What was it? The Aqua Tween
movie film for theaters.
Yes, there we go.
Colon movie film, I think. Colon movie film. Like the word colon.
Yes.
Brilliant.
So what did you think of Disgaea colon RPG game for mobile?
It's just another mobile RPG game. Like,
Yeah,
it
it's
doesn't
bad.
feel anything like the Disgaea at all.
Really?
Of course not.
There's no tactics elements to it. Like, I was thought maybe they'll do like something like Fire Emblem where it's tactics.
Yeah.
And it's just really small. No, it's just, here's RPG battle. You get 6 characters. You get to select from different sprites from throughout the series. And then you fight through a battle that's just 6 other characters on the other side. And you hit buttons and it basically auto fights.
And it has no mechanics because it's a mobile RPG, yeah.
Yeah. There is throwing in it, but I didn't even get to the point where I learned about that before just kind of losing all interest. It's like, it does the same thing that I talked about the other week with the mobile game that's like, hey, I have currency you could pay for. It looks identical to the currency that's free.
Apparently Disgaea has insane ones where it has things, it won't show you ways to use the currency until you buy it.
What?
It already
That's
is
what somebody told me. Because they said it has like 5 or 6 different currencies you can buy. And it's like, no, they don't even show you the ability to roll that until you buy the currency.
It's already insane because the thing starts. It shows like 2 events that are going you can roll for, like clearly on the screen, but you can keep scrolling through more events that look identical, but some are like, oh, but this one you can use your free currency on. Like the first two, it shows you are not free currency. Like I just saw I couldn't roll.
Of course not. Gotta get that money, suck that money out of them from the start.
Yeah, but luckily there were ones I could use that free currency they gave me on to try and roll for Christmas Laharl, because they just threw in events that were from months ago in Japan. So Christmas Laharl is what this launches with.
I don't want Christmas Laharl.
He's called Dark Santa Laharl, and I don't know. I think this is a fantastic design.
It's fine, but it's hilarious that we're sitting here in April. Like, yeah, I wanted to roll for Christmas Laharl.
That sounds like when Laharl would show up for Christmas. Oh my god.
Okay, you got me.
The shoes, the Santa fur at the bottom of his shorts, the palms on the hat being fire. It's really good. The only reason I wanted this shit to get released in the States is like, now people let me know if there's fun things to look at.
Yeah, it's incredibly basic. I got through like the first couple stages and was just like, yeah, I don't think I'll ever play this again. It really just falls into that same trap that most mobile games do, where it's like, this is just trash. Like you can spend time looking at it to look at cool GIFs, but that's about it. Like,
and Twitter keeps trying to get me to download it.
Yes.
Like whenever I go on mobile, they're like, here, no, I'd rather not.
So yeah, I don't really recommend that. Even as a huge Disgaea fan, it's not scratching anything for me. There's lots of numbers. You could put tons of different things with different numbers, because every character of your 6 characters you have at once has like 6 different equipment slots. So there's plenty to try and do if you're into that mobile game sort of thing. Let me see what else I played. I played some Neo 2. Going through the DLC on that and found out about boss skills. Did you guys know about boss skills?
Not by that name. Maybe if you describe them, I'll be like, yeah, I knew about that.
There's a random chance that some bosses that do cool attacks will drop a scroll that gets you that cool attack.
What?
Yes, but they only dropped for me in the DLC.
Yeah, that's in the regular game too, but there's a lot of them in the DLC. So I knew that they existed, but I thought it was an auto drop sort of thing, because I got it from one guy throughout the story mode. I was like, I guess that's just his thing, and I get it. Yeah,
that would be sane.
I never encountered anything like this.
Yeah, so every time you kill some of these bosses, like the Ren Hayabusa, he's the Ryu stand-in for this game. He could drop like 4 different scrolls. So I got I got 2 of those actually. In like the ninja magic he drops is incredible. It's insane. Like it shoots a fireball that does like 2,000 or 3,000 attack damage, and you're basically invincible while casting it. So clearly these are really great moves. And I wish they weren't locked to this random chance. So now I've been grinding the first DLC's boss to hope that he'll drop his thing. And also trying to do that with the second DLC first boss, Raiko. Because she has also got some really cool moves. But they won't drop them. I think I've killed the first boss like at least 6 times. He won't drop anything.
And they won't. Most of those bosses have like a rematch side mission. They don't drop them in that.
They can. It's random though.
Okay.
Yeah, so there is an easy way to revitalize these guys, but it's still just like, man, please throw me a bone here. This is ridiculous.
So I didn't say this, but if you're having trouble with, like, when I talked about it, but if you're having trouble with Neo 2 and you're using the Odachi, here's a way to cheese every single human boss. Every single one. You get the special art. Like every weapon has a special art you do a dojo fight for. The Odachis is like 3 super fast slashes. It's like playing Mortal Kombat 2. When they're walking towards you, do that. They cannot be blocking and walking towards you at the same time, and it's too fast for them to react. So I would do that, run away until my stamina came back, and do it again. And that is how and they would just walk into my sword over and over until they died.
That's a more reasonable thing to do than what I did when I hit a wall in the DLC of like, I'll play New Game Plus mode on hard and then level up like 20 times. So yeah, now I don't get any good drops that are worthwhile from the DLC, which kind of stinks because there's cool armor in that. But yeah, that's all I had to say about Neo 2. I beat the second DLC. I haven't even started the third because I got obsessed with these boss skills. But I also played Resident Evil 8's demo because it was up for like 10 minutes or something, and I happened to be awake.
Yeah, I also did that.
It was up for
Yeah, it was up. It was up for 10 minutes, and I skipped all the cutscenes, so I was able to beat it in that 10-minute time frame.
Good job, KZ. You really had the experience.
Yes. I feel like I almost beat it. I'm not sure. They give you like 30 minutes to play it. You get to walk around a little bit of the village, get some cutscenes, get to see a lot of what happened in those trailers, and see that wasn't much of anything in larger context, which is funny. It feels weird. Am I the only one who felt like maybe there's more to the combat than they want to talk about? Because it feels really strange to be like, okay, you have the stuff like you can shoot the flower and it knocks guys out, and if the enemies get near you, you can block at the right time and kind of push them away. But after you shoot guys, like it feels like you can't really do anything to them. You just kind of have to sit back and wait for them to be ready to be shot again. So I'm like,
well, you haven't unlocked your transformation yet,
Yeah.
where you're going to be able to turn to a werewolf and have werewolf combos.
I honestly think there has to be something else, because if they're putting mercenaries in, like if you can't play offensively, that just seems weird. Because right now I don't feel like I can play offensively. Like, you get the shotgun, you can kill dudes with these guns, but it just doesn't feel super satisfying. So I don't know. Hopefully there's more to that. Hopefully things expand out in a way that makes it more fun. But we'll see. I thought it looks immaculate. I was like, that was only 8 gigs. It can't be too much. I was like, whoa. It looks kind of insane.
And it runs insanely on PS5, even with the ray
Oh,
tracing
that's
mode
so
on.
weird. I heard that they were having difficulty making it run at 30 at 90p at 900p.
What?
Oh,
Oh, God,
that's so weird.
That's fucking weird.
You're
Oh.
never going to forget this shit.
I feel
ever.
like
No,
yeah,
not.
because
No.
a dude fucking went up onto that hill and said, "Watch me do this cool thing," and his foot slipped out from underneath him, and he fell on his ass, and he was really uncertain what he was meaning to
It's
do.
going to be like 4 years from now. Remember when he said that? I'm like, no, I didn't. I forget every 2
I'll
months.
remember it forever. It's not just that he was wrong. It's that he admitted he made it up later to make Microsoft not feel as bad.
They were having a bad week, so he wanted to talk some shit. Whether or not he made it up, well, let's be frank. Even if I got that information from anyone on the dev team directly, there's no way I would have gone on the record saying that, because guess what, motherfucker? Games get polished in the last few months before they come out and run drastically better. So yeah, no, that was some really loud, really dumb shit. It also came out during a time when people were really buying into the Series X running games way better than the PS5. And I'm really glad we live in a post-launch era where everyone goes, oh, that's basically the same thing.
Right.
You've shown me 2 versions of the same image. This is the same image. That digital Foundry analysis is pretty good. I liked being able to see the different platforms run it.
Oh, they actually got one out?
Yeah, they got it. I know. Isn't that fucked up? Like, they had 8 minutes to record it, and somehow they did it on so many platforms.
Yes.
They got it on PS4, PS4 Pro, and PS5.
Yeah, I saw some
They're like,
tweeting
synchronize
about.
your watches. We're going in.
Yeah.
Yeah, they I saw them tweeting about. Yeah, man, they really promoted work-life balance with this sort of release schedule for these demos.
Something that I really like about it is how good the performance was in the image quality mode or whatever, but it keeps making me think they need to release that variable refresh rate firmware update for the PS5.
You know, because they gave me that time limit, I didn't even check if there was a performance mode. Because I was like, I only have 30 minutes. You're counting down right now. I can't go into the menus. I want to see what happens in Resident Evil 8.
Well, luckily, you have your system preferences.
That's not the performance, so maybe I would have chosen it, but I kind of doubt it.
Well, did you have performance problems?
I didn't really notice it. Though.
Well, there you go.
So maybe.
There you go. Imagine the game looked better. Whoa.
Wow.
Wow. But yeah, that game seems to run on everything better than they said it would at the various settings.
Cool.
So that's pretty good. Because I assumed when they said 45 frames per second, it would be like 38. But who knows? This is just a small slice of the gameplay. Maybe there's some ambitious stuff later on that makes it totally eat shit.
Very
When you're doing
possible.
werewolf combos.
Yeah. I
mean,
mean, this game's going to become Breakdown. Just watch.
Yeah, we didn't even... I'm sure the
Can't.
castle goes crazy.
All I want, like the Resident Evil 4 shoot a guy, then do a move to him, is like perfect. Bring it back, please.
Yeah, they even
get a
have like the
10.
different, okay, you shoot him in the leg, then they grab the leg and stuff like that. It's like, okay, it feels like right now is when I would walk up to him and punch him. Instead, it's like, okay, well, I guess I'll sit back here and shoot him some more and run out of ammo.
Maybe Ethan gets the glove, and that's what unlocks the follow-ups.
I'm gonna go ahead and say now. I think a Resident Evil 8 update for PSVR 2 is a shoo-in.
Yes.
And that would be some incredible shit.
Yeah, when they're doing all VR again. Oh, man.
Yeah, and plus they have the proper hand tracking tech this time. So that's going to be real good.
You'll be able to feel the liquid being poured on your hand.
You'll be able to feel you going, what the fuck?
Why?
You will feel the Chris why.
Yes. But that's
Chris
all I
shoots
played.
your actual wife.
Oh no!
It is a really realistic game.
You can like upload a photo of your wife and they procedurally put it onto the model.
It looks exactly like Tony Hawk American Wasteland level quality. That's cool, Bob. I played some Neo Geo games silently. Anyways, moving on to KZ. KZ, what did you play over the last week?
That was it. Next.
Oh, hey, Phil, what did you play over the last week?
I played a bunch of Saga Frontier Remastered. That's a really good port. All the stuff that annoys me about it, you can turn off. Like, you can turn off the horrible mobile buttons.
Cool.
That's probably the best way to play the game. Like, the only, like, they did a really good job with the upscaling, and I don't know what exactly they did. It feels like maybe they had like an artist clean it up more after the fact, or maybe they have some really sicko mode thing, or maybe just the way those sprites were made is more
conducive
to this. But there's times where it's like they look like clay models being posed.
Yeah.
Like when it's going exactly perfectly. And I'm like, that looks neat. It's funny that I don't think they upscaled any of the enemies at all other than bosses. So those are blurry as fuck. And then all the character sprites and bosses are upscaled and look pretty nice. I recommend you play that if you want to play a really weird game. It's weird and esoteric, and it had a quick save on PS1, and there's a reason it had a quick save on PS1. There's a reason that you could press R2 and hit triangle and save instantly. The game is not obscenely, it has a rough learning curve, but once you learn it, it's not really that bad. Like once you understand how things work. One of the things that it really helps to understand is this game, none of those campaigns are going to give you party members, bro. You got to go recruit them. You got to go find someone that looks like they have a unique enough design and talk to them and hope they just walk into you and now you have a party member. Because otherwise they ain't going to give you, and you're not going to make it through this game with the protagonists by themselves. I've beaten 2 of the campaigns. I do intend to beat them all because it's pretty good. And I don't know if this was in the original, but you can carry over all your items and money from campaign to campaign, which means you don't have to like re-equip for every character. So that's good. There's like unique items and I don't know if those carry over. They probably don't. But yeah, it's weird and esoteric and has a lot of really cool things, but it can also be very frustrating. But it's good. I liked it a lot. I also beat a game that I had as a child and played the first half of probably 15 times.
Oh, cool.
And never beat.
That sounds like a neat game.
Called Secret of Evermore.
It is.
You don't know what Secret of Evermore is. Secret of Evermore is a game made by an entirely American team at Squaresoft using the Secret of Mana engine and like menus and stuff. It is about a boy who goes to a fantasy world that isn't actually really very fantasy at all. It's based on like historical eras of Earth. Like there's the prehistoric land and then the ancient Roman land and then the medieval land. It has some interesting ideas. It also has some of the worst dungeons on the Super Nintendo, I think. The start of the game is pretty fine. Like the first the first 4 hours it can be a little difficult if you don't grind, but that's a lot of RPGs, you know. Then you get to the second of the I say 4, but it's really just 3 because the 4th one's so short. You get to the second of the 3 areas, and now every dungeon is a horrific maze.
Yeah, I tuned in for some of that. Bob, I can't describe. Imagine an abandoned mall. Multiply that by 17, but it's a forest.
I saw him play that. Yeah,
The forest is by far the worst one. Getting through that without a map would be a nightmare.
and the fact that it just played like cricket noises the whole time you were in it, I was losing my mind.
Yeah, Jeremy Soule, the composer of the Elder Scrolls series, this was the first game they worked on. So it has some music, but they tend to go for more ambiance, which means no music a lot of times. There's still some. I overall had fun with it. There's like really funny exploits, like you can there's a spell. Spells in this game are called alchemy, and they require ingredients. And it seems like that would be cool, but it actually isn't, because ultimately it just means that you cast money. You cast spells with money.
Yep.
Like theoretically, you would have to keep track of your separate resources. Like, oh, this spell also uses a component in this spell, but there's almost no crossover between offensive spells and like healing.
My favorite part, Feel, is when you got that spell called One Up or Continue.
Yeah, it's called One Up. It's just like
cast this right. Yeah, exactly. Cast this right before you die, and you'll come back. This is like, the way the guy described it.
Why wouldn't I just heal myself?
It took an item. It took a feather, and this person who gave him this spell was just like, "Hey, I could sell you the materials to cast that spell." Feels like, okay, well, I'm stocked up on all of these except for this feather. Let's see. Holy shit! And it was like an unbelievable amount of money.
Yeah, it was an unbelievable amount of money. But there's like this. There's the spell Crush that you cast, and a giant stone fist lands on the enemy,
which is pretty funny.
This spell has a glitch where if you switched, here's the thing: they keep you from chain casting spells and paralyzing bosses, and just eviscerating them. You can't open the menu again while you're casting. But if you switch control to your dog isn't doing the animation, the casting animation. So you can chain cast that spell specifically as the if you're controlling the dog and open the main character's menu, which resulted in this clip.
Ooh,
where I kill a dragon in 5 seconds.
Oh yeah, that was good. That was really good, actually.
Oh yeah, I saw this.
Yeah, we were watching during this exact part.
God, that dragon looks so bad.
It does, and they color it red and reuse it later.
Yeah, so this is a really good point for me to bring up. My favorite things about Secret of Mana are the really cute designs, the great fantasy art style, and the music. I hate this game.
I think the backgrounds look fine, and most of the monsters look fine, and most of the NPCs look fine. But then sometimes there's stuff like that dragon.
The game overall it has a style I would call fucking hideous, intentionally or unintentionally. So as someone who came from Secret of Mana's completely fucking opposite impression, I was so fucking culture shocked by this. I didn't get many games as a kid. This was one of them.
Oh, and I have to go into this now because Dan reminded me of it. Little boy Feel went to Target. He was gonna get a new game. He looked at all the games. He's like, oh, what's this? Chrono Trigger. Oh, but there's like a frog on it. And I don't know about frogs, but this game, Secret of Evermore, has a really big, like, cool monster on it. So I'm gonna get that game.
Oh my god.
Okay.
This has a frog on it.
That's pretty bad.
I would have been like 8, literally 8.
Right. Keep in mind, Secret of Mana was the first game that was ever mine. It was a birthday present to me. It wasn't a game my parents bought for both of us. It was for me. So it has a special place in my heart. I like that game a lot. And then when this game came out years later, I was like, ooh, I want that too, because that first game was so amazing and I love it so much. And then I got it and I was like, what is this nightmare game?
Here's the thing about Secret of Evermore people probably don't know. It's a direct sequel to Final Fantasy IV.
One of the characters is hanging out somewhere in this, I take it?
Yes, one of the merchants near the end is Cecil Harvey, and he's like, yeah, I'm Cecil from Baron Castle, have you heard of me? I defeated Zeromus. And if you say, yes, I've heard of you, he's like, wow, I'm so glad that you heard of me. I feel like, you're basically my friend. I'll give you a discount on all my armor. And then when you buy all his armor, he gives you a bazooka.
Cecil knows for his bazooka, right?
Yeah, the conceit is that he's selling all the shit he found during Final Fantasy IV. He even mentions being married to Rosa. Now, here's something that Secret of Evermore does that I like, and I think it's kind of insane that this never became standard in games. There's lots of points where beating a boss or opening a chest will give you an item. If you already have that item, it will give you a better item.
What?
And if you already have that better item, it will give you either a shitload of money, or it will give you like some third, even more useful item, or like a side item that is also useful, but not the same thing. An example of this is when you get to the first big city in the second area, it has a marketplace that doesn't use money. It uses goods, and some goods you can buy with money. And that's one of the more interesting parts of the game, is that there's this big marketplace where you have to barter to get all the stuff that you need, or that you want rather, because it's like armor and accessories. If you buy all of the armor in the first smaller area, then trade for all of the armor in the marketplace, there's a bunch of chests right before a boss that's very shortly after that. If you have those two sets of armor, it will give you even better armor. Otherwise, it will only give you the stuff that you don't have. And there's also a boss that is a giant rat sitting on boxes that tries to cast spells at you, and I eviscerated him with the giant fists. He gives you like a really good chest plate, but if you bought it already, he gives you the bazooka. But if you have the bazooka already, he gives you a shitload of money. Like, grind for 30 minutes to get this much money.
That's cool.
And since this seems to be a thing we're all capable of noticing now, I was never capable of noticing this before I started doing content with Dan, where the game runs out of money.
Okay.
So you get to the end of the third area.
Uh-huh.
And this guy goes, I have a spaceship that'll take you up to the space station over the fantasy world. But I need these parts from the previous two areas, and he gives you an airship. And all it is go through areas you went through before and fight a recolored version of a boss.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say, like, I don't know. It's gonna be a tough sell to sell me on this Super NES game. Is clearly running out of money, and then you said that. I'm like, oh, never. Fuck.
Then you go up to the space station and you do a really bad dungeon. It's not bad because it's maze-like. It's actually pretty easy to navigate, but there's just like a really annoying part where you have to send the dog. He turns into a robot on the space station, by the way, and he has like a laser minigun that annihilates everything in the game. He just pops out a machine gun from his back and kills things. But you have to send him out an airlock and have him blow up all these switches. That's really annoying because there's like 15 of them, and they shoot at you also. But by this point, he won't even take damage from that because you're too strong.
Right.
And that's whatever. But then you get to the end of it, and the guy at the end says, you need this MacGuffin to fight the final boss. Go back down to the planet and get it, which is fine. It takes like 2 seconds. But then you get back up there and he's like, now do the last dungeon in reverse.
What?
You have to go back. You have to go back to the start of that dungeon from the end, because that's where the teleporter to the final boss is. The final boss is also insane. I don't know what was wrong with them. I rinsed it because I had the spell that makes me invincible for 45 seconds. I had like 50 castings of that. I also had the spell that makes your attack instantly be fully charged because it uses the Secret of Mana style where you have to hold the button to charge the meter. And there's a spell that, like, for so long, it will automatically charge to max really, really fast. And the dog does so much damage, I just switched to the dog and made everybody invincible and buffed the dog's attack and just blew everything away. But the boss before this has 5,000 health. The final boss is, fight this thing with 4,000 health. Fight this thing with 4,000 health. Fight this thing with 5,000 health twice. Fight this thing with 25,000 health. Now you can fight the final boss with 30,000 health. And I'm like, I don't know how you would beat this if you weren't using this almost an exploit of a strategy I was using. And then you get the ending, which everybody fucking rolled their fucking eyes at, where you teleport back into your little Podunk town, because the main character's from Podunk, USA.
So about why I hate this game.
and he's like,
What's wrong
man,
with the real world?
man, I can't believe I don't know if that adventure was real or just our overactive imaginations. And he like walks to the theater he came out of in the start of the game, and then looks up, and the title of the movie playing now is Secret of Evermore.
Boo.
Like, I guess that answers that question.
Yep.
The only way it could be better is if someone said in dialogue, "Man, this movie sucks."
There was one really like Bayonetta tier piece of dialogue where you walk through a room with a bunch of like stained glass with enemies on the stained glass, and they jump off and you have to kill them. And afterwards, the protagonist goes, "Man, they were a pain in the glass." But pain is spelled like window pane. So that's pretty good. It's all right. It's like a 6.5. It's not terrible. I think every other game Squaresoft released on Super Nintendo is probably better, but there's definitely stuff I would rather play Secret of Evermore than playing on the Super Nintendo. like the Ranma 1/2 RPG. Anyway, it's fine. That's all I played.
So I have one part to share with you two. Actually, Bob hasn't seen it either, so I'm also sharing it with him. The VOD for Mega Man 4 and 5 on Game Boy should hopefully be up over on YouTube by the time this goes live, but if not, you can go find it over on Twitch. The ending of Mega Man 5 goes so Inti creates. This final boss is a doomsday weapon that Wily awakened and then turned on him. Mega Man fights him, just barely survives. And then the boss's arm starts sparking. Mega Man's like, "Are you okay? Here, grab my shoulder. I'm sure you can be fixed at Dr. Light's lab." And then he goes, "Mega Man, why? Why are you helping me?" Stick with me, listeners. "Because we're both robots." And then he goes, "Yes, and we were both created to fight." And then Mega Man goes, "No, you're wrong. I only fight when I am forced to protect the world from those who would pit machines against man. I believe humans and robots can live in peace." And then he goes, "Maybe, but I will never know my fusion reactor is going to critical when it does."
Are we sure that like everybody from Minakuchi Engineering didn't just leave and go become Inti creators?
We have no evidence because we don't have a credit listing for any of them.
Yeah.
It sucks so bad. But yeah, he's like, "It's going to go critical, destroy this entire fortress. You have to leave." And Mega Man gets really sad.
Finally, some dialogue in my Mega Man game.
Chad starts losing it over how just like melodramatic it gets here at the end. It's so bad.
One other thing I learned during the stream where Secret Evermore crashed and fucking killed my save. Star Tropics doesn't work on the Mister unless you patch it with a special thing.
I know exactly why, and it also had that same problem on the analog NT Mini.
Oh,
yeah, it has an incorrect header, I believe.
Yes, that is correct. That is what I ascertained looking it up.
Yeah, it doesn't point to the correct chipset.
Also, I played the Adventures of Bayou Billy for 5 minutes. That game is fucking impossible.
Yeah, I don't fucking know what's with people who beat that.
The Japanese version is a normal video game. It's possible for a human being to beat. When they brought it over to a maker, they just made it impossible.
Yeah.
If you don't know, they made enemies twice as fast and deal twice as much damage, which that alone is bad, but it isn't insurmountable. That includes them being in hit stun half the time, so all your attacks are unsafe on hit. It's a beat 'em up where enemies exit hit stun before you recover from hitting them.
Yes.
Also, there's parts where you go through water full of alligators. In the Japanese version, that's just a hazard you have to get past. In the English version, you have to kill the fucking alligators.
Yeah, the US version of that game is an unbelievable nightmare. But that's all the games we played?
That's all I played.
Huh. Well, KZ, what do you got going on in the next week?
I'm gonna stream a little bit and eat a sandwich and thank these podlords.
Oh, fuck, it's a ball!
Fuck.
Toddlers.
Fuck. Oddlord?
Yeah, that's right.
This is right.
One of these times I'm going to be like, fuck it, Dan, let me read the pod lords.
Pod lords such as Ely Broyles, Corey Brown.
Then we immediately just, it hits the fan.
Terrible third reptile mess.
Oh my god.
We found him. There's that third reptile.
Finally.
Thank you, Pablo.
Located.
Found.
Kill confirmed. Red Blaze 27. Weapons grade Juice of Frost.
Damn.
Whenever he says damn like that, whenever Feel says damn like that, I just think of the You're the Man Down dog shit him. Damn, son, where'd you find this one?
Oh my god, me too.
Jesus.
Good.
Not alone. Suzu Shiro. Emperor Zero. Shibi Weeby returns with a vengeance.
Powerful.
Ojama King and Morgana have teamed up to aggressively demand Dan to take a break for a week or two. Good luck on that.
What's
Yeah,
Ojama King gonna do? He just takes up 3 of your slots. He doesn't do shit.
Tell that guy to get a job.
Fucking Ojamas are podcasts. They just fucking take all our space.
Rado. Hey guys, Gary here. I'm hot now. How does that make you feel?
You learned how to close your mouth?
Yeah, I don't get it. There's no teeth. I don't understand.
This isn't Gary. This must be an imposter. So Bob, I have a new emote idea. It's Banny in full plate armor.
Okay.
I love hearing Bob sigh over the internet.
So does our audience. That's our real moneymaker. WTF Spider-Man. Da Banny. Podlord's still trying to trip me up with these fucking names. Mister, I like spam on bacon or bacon on spam, but not bacon spam or spam bacon, and I like looking at spam on bacon or bacon on spam, but... And then it ends.
They got you a little bit.
Just a little bit. It's the lacking and the looking. With my southern accent, it's a little hard to differentiate the two.
Well,
Oh, not again. Nice full only on deliveries.
DFW3K.
now, Bubba, you're gonna have to get through these pod lords a little faster.
Okay, I'll try. Scrimblow Bimblow versus Drimblow Demblow Saga Swimblow Edition Blow.
About syllables.
I read syllables. Shiny Mew wishes all their fellow podlords a very pleasant remembering to change their names and images.
Very good.
Santi Kunai. Kristen. I don't mean to alarm you, but breaking news this week may reveal that Jason Alexander and George Costanza may in fact be the same. Yay, Podlord. There's a letter limit.
No way.
Yeah, there is. I'm sorry.
I'm willing to bet they do hit that limit, and then they go, fuck it, I got my point across.
Devil Summoner. No, most of them don't get their point across. Devil Summoner Raido Kunis and Noha versus Digital Devil Saga Switch Edition.
My point was that they think that. Not that they're correct. This one, yeah. Other ones, it's like, you were sending a book.
New Super.
You must be out of spaces, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, no. Weirdly enough, that Podlord stops way short of the character limit.
I still don't
Like
know what
1
they're
million
trying to put
coins to
across.
unlock the full thing. Also a gold statue.
Gonna die.
Scrimblow Blimblow 8. The quest to get hashtag Happy Birthday Scrimblow trending.
Fuck them.
Tonberry and Near Replicant. That's all I got this week.
Okay.
I'm
Oh
okay.
boy.
Yoko
I'm
Tara's
imagining-
Raptor.
Yeah, and I'm just imagining Yoko Taro wearing a Tonberry mask.
Yeah, I don't need that. I don't need this Tonberry looking at him going, you look so cool, Near.
Kyle Bjork.
You look like Gary Busey.
Forgot to change my Podlord name last week. Well, that happens when you sift through cables and wires. Here's KZ Xboxolin. You also forgot to change it this week.
Ruh-roh.
AG's Birdfect time. Teba from Breath of the Wild, or Teba, I don't know, is very attractive. This is a fact. I don't know about that.
Sounds pretty sus.
Zilter. Devil, Seville, Ryevel, Kuzevel versus Digevel, Devil, Seville, Swevel, a devil. You can't win. Try typing the word liking and looking next to each other. Yeah. They repaired my OLED. It's time for Melty Blood. Chase Ray. Blig de Blue. Schligdis Poo. Ruby, but it's Svets.
Oh, yeah. They're all colors. Their names are just colors.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Stop reminding me of Ruby lore that gives me a stroke every time I think of it.
Oh, I was, yeah. You know, like Weiss is white. Azul is blue. Nero is black.
Why am I playing a game where I wait 400 days IRL? 392 to go.
I don't know. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, I have no fucking idea.
That's
Daniel,
one that was in the Nintendo Indie World thing.
Daniel, my friend, Jerry Beans man took me to a Death Grips concert to help me forget the breakup, but they performed Tachyon. That sounds like a great night. What's the problem?
Tachyon!
Vita means life.
It still does.
Homa. Bob, here's a new emote. It's Bandy with the cigar and cheer wine.
I see.
Banny has a house now, so they can enjoy a cigar and cheer wine. Can you?
Oh, God, I wish. I don't know. Cooper Tank.
Cat got a house before you.
That's kind of fucked up. Lamu. Me having to defend my love of In-N-Out after having tried Whataburger and it's audibly moaning at it. It's so good, I hate it. What the fuck is your deal?
Oh, I'm Californian, and In-N-Out is our win. Texas and the Southwest can't have Whataburger. No. Californian eats the patty melt and just starts to dissolve.
They dissipate into magical dust after being hit by beams of flavor.
Yeah, In-N-Out won't let them put an egg on it.
The keyblade shoots out caramelized onions and they just disintegrate.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Kingdom Hearts 4. Whataburger Keyblade. Make it happen.
That will...
Holy shit.
KZ stream. He's going to need that next year.
Yep. The ghost of Sheldon's past.
Why?
Oh,
Why does he look like that guy from Fate?
somebody's name doesn't match their image, but I'm gonna read it anyways. Dedel summer Drido Kuzanuhu Vises the Devil Devil da da Swick Addition. I read syllables.
Yeah.
Look, at some point, you guys should just try to take over the niche that Dr. Seuss had and stop trying to trick Dan.
Look at this dude.
He's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Indigo Sykes. Swag Marth. Chester, thanks you for the shout out last week. And also congrats to Blue Knight 590 for winning the Community Armchair Devs Guilty Gear. Hey, that's spoilers. You're spoiling someone else's content. Thank you for the $50 a month.
also Chester's cool.
Yeah, Chester's pretty cool. I'd hang out with Chester. Maria Kondenzovna Eve, thanks you for shopping at Walmart. Dan, breaking a mirror in a mummy's tomb with a black cat and salt shaker spilling. I should buy an Xbox Series X. Yeah, that sounds like...
You didn't notice the ladder set up in front of the GameStop store.
Like, a fucking dog catcher truck explodes and 1,000 black cats run over past Dan's path before you go in.
Mega Duck.
Whoa.
Whoa.
based and Chathon pilled.
When you play Dragon Quest.
Mondo, and a raccoon. Thank you very much to our pod lord.
Thank you, Pavlor.
Thank you, pod lords.
Thank you,
Gotta say,
Podlords,
pretty
another
pleased
wildlife.
with the increase of wildlife for this pod lord segment. Thank you very much, pod lords.
We now count as a nature preserve. And if you'd like to become a pod lord or become an animal and then become a pod lord, come to our Patreon at patreon.com/gbpodcast. For as little as $5 a month, you get many benefits, such as early access to Mondo, Cool, and Chugging Bleach, our 2 anime review podcasts about Dragon Ball and Bleach specifically. The Dragon Ball movie specifically. Not all of Dragon Ball, God no.
God. Could you fucking imagine?
Cursed Content Club commentary tracks to go along with the episodes. Cursed Content by Committee, a Patreon exclusive show. You get to vote and get an episode and get a commentary track. That's value. And extended armchair dev pitches, wherein you get to hear our ideas before we decided to weaponize them. That's patreon.com/gbpodcast. And remember, if you can't contribute to our Patreon, you can always spread the word.
Always helps.
Bark, bark.
Bark, bark. Great. Now next week, everyone's just going to be sending in animal sounds.
Sure.
Bark, bark.
There have been worse Podlord bits. Go ahead.
Yes, there have definitely been worse.
I want
easily
someone to
been
do
worse.
goose honks.
Just please no like horrible fusion of Gary Busey and a cat.
Please don't. And then you hear the sound of him putting down something on a desk. Shoot me with this gun.
I can handle like a turtle with a Tom Berry's head.
Oh, I'm not sure I can. Oh, Jesus.
Oh no.
That's not okay.
What are we starting with?
1 second. It always takes me a second after Podlords to fucking pivot these web browsers with all these fucking tabs around and find the news doc. We're going to go ahead and start with there's a chunk of Sony news. Let's just get that out of the way. Hey, KZ, do yours first.
Okay. Sony is backing down. The PS3 and Vita digital stores will not be going down. PSP will still die on schedule.
Yes.
But the other two will live.
Did you know most PSP games are like 400 megs? Very easily transmittable via the internet. Just a fun fact.
Did you know
that is true?
Yeah.
Did you know this wasn't a publicity stunt? And if you think that, you're wrong.
I was about to say this seems like a scheme to get people to pay billions of dollars in sales of Third Strike.
They could sell thousands of PS1 games. That might be $50,000.
That might be a rounding error at a subdivision.
It was a publicity stunt, just like the Xbox doubling Xbox Live.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. You people who say shit like this, not only are you the stupidest assholes, that is basically on par with thinking chemtrails exist. You're fucking morons and don't understand how the real world works.
It's fucked up that I had seen at least 10 people say that before you quoted a YouTuber saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, guys, and I'm not going to be as volatile as Dan. I'm going to be very genuine. No company is going to get beaten up for 2 weeks in every form of media for no gain. Like, they made sense on this. Like, they did not make some huge chunk of money. And if you think, they'll roll it back and everybody will be happy that they listened. There's never a guarantee that there will actually be a run back. Ask Microsoft when they backed down on the Xbox One's always on DRM.
Yeah, to be fair, on Twitter, I was pretty much exactly as you were now, but this is my fucking house. You people need to shut the fuck up and grow a sense of shame. If you think that's how the real world works, Jesus fucking Christ. That's a fucking elementary school level of understanding of real fucking life. Do you think the CEO of Sony is fucking brainstorming hilarious 2-week publicity cycles about him eating shit with a bad decision? Like, come on. Get a fucking clue. Also, you're not brilliant either for going, they'll shut it down eventually.
Yeah, they will eventually. Like, guys, Sony didn't think anyone would care because basically nobody cared when the Wii eShop got shut down.
Yeah, people didn't have nearly the same reaction, and that happened 2 years ago. A lot of people are saying that's because they gave a full year's heads up, and I think that's a lot of it. I also think the Wii feels older than that in the scale of
Even
games
though it came out
does.
basically exactly the same time as the PS3.
Like 1 week separated or something, yeah.
To be fair, I cared about it because there were WiiWare games I cared about, and now I have to go through other means.
Yeah, they really that sucks a lot too, because there's just a lot of things lost to history there.
Yeah. David Jaffe informs me that that's not history. People being able to access art isn't important.
I see.
Yep. So I guess we're all idiots. We're gonna go ahead and one last little bit. No shit. Eventually, that server will go down because eventually this planet will likely be uninhabitable. You're not brilliant.
Yeah. Like, well, they'll just shut it down. Like, in what? In a year? Okay, if they shut it, if they shut it down in a year, you have a year to buy the shit you want.
Yeah, it's like,
or more realistically, maybe do something to your obsolete for a decade platform to solve this problem more permanently for yourself.
Right. My hope is, and I would like to point out that everyone has been having a backlash over that decision at Sony. One, this decision is 100% because of you. Because if everyone just calmly went along with it, they wouldn't have backed down.
Yeah, no, that's why people need to actually get upset at this.
And that's why
companies works.
Mm-hmm. And that's why, when the always online DRM thing got the huge backlash it did, that's why that changed. So every game journalist you see out there, anytime you start seeing some backlash like this, and they're like, oh, those annoying gamers, they need to shut the fuck up because that's how anything gets done. If you bitched about the Xbox's always online, if you bitched about Sony shutting down the PS3, Vita, and PSP stores, congratulations. You've accomplished more change in the game industry than most game journalists. Congratulations.
I like that they actually had Jim Ryan do the blog post just to try and hammer home. No, it's him. He's not terrible.
Him. He fucking cares. He promises.
Yeah, they're like, we'll put Jim Ryan's name on this, and that'll make people be like, oh, okay, good.
I didn't know that part.
He's scared.
That's not going to work.
I didn't know that part. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, the actual post on the PlayStation blog says Jim Ryan.
You're right.
So this was weeks ago, but I have to admit it. I didn't know what Jim Ryan looked like.
Okay.
Like mentally, I always just put Andrew House in his place.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you'll get Sucker Punched then. Jeez.
Yeah, that's... Andrew House...
That isn't even close to right.
Yeah, Andrew House is kind of handsome. I'm just going to say that and not cover the other end of this comparison. Anyway.
I knew what Jim Ryan looked like because there was that one fucking conference before the PS4 came out where they were going to reveal the user interface. And their cameras hyper zoomed in on like his nose.
That was,
and then immediately zoomed out, and Giant Bomb was streaming in, and Brad just fucking died.
I think that was what, Gamescom right before the PS4.
Yeah, that was like Gamescom 2013.
That was really good.
It was immaculate.
That was really good. Yeah, so getting rid of the rest of the Sony news. Sony announced that they're teaming up with Firewalk Studios, which is a studio founded in 2018, who started staffing up in 2019 for what's announced here, a game with Sony that is a new AAA original multiplayer IP. The studio is apparently made of former Destiny people.
Neat.
Shortly after they made this announcement, Sony's like, yeah, we're committed to making new original IPs of all scales or some shit like that. And it's like, so they read the news. Holy shit.
Right.
Yeah, I saw Jim Ryan say, I think it was to Nikke. It was just like, there will be more PS5 exclusive games that we've made than we did last gen.
That's insane. That is insane. There were so many fucking PS4 exclusives. There was like 2 enormous ones a year and then a bunch of small ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they kept delaying everything, so next year there will be 18 PS5 exclusive games.
Clearly, that's what's going to happen. Yeah, no, that's really good, and that's what I like about Sony. They tend to do not only really quality stuff compared to most of the console manufacturers, but I feel like they do original IPs a lot more than most. And I like that sort of thing. And I was worried they might fall out of that this gen. I thought Returnal would be the one and only. Because I'm pessimistic when it comes to Sony. Once again, guys, we only found out
we lived through the PS3.
Right, yes. But also, we only found out they can read the news in the last 2.5 weeks.
yeah, no, it's kind of crazy.
In the, 17 years I've been following Sony's news, like their PR and all that shit. It's only in the last 2.5 weeks we found out they can read.
So when's Jeff Grubb gonna put up his GamesBeat article of eating his own hat?
Never.
Oh, okay, you're right.
when Jeff Grubb does not strike me as Jefferton Grubbington does not strike me as a man who will just be like, yeah, I was wrong about a thing. Basically strikes me as a person who gets pissed if you ever point it out.
Yeah, I know.
I increasingly love that like a third of all Reset era hates Jeff Grubb.
Understandably,
broken clock.
Because
every Sony thread that pops up of here's the thing they're doing, they're like, that's impossible. I've been assured that it is impossible for them to make games that aren't blockbusters or anything related to Japan.
Yeah, that fucking Jeff Grubb article based on an interview Jim Ryan did 4 fucking years ago talking about the PS4 cycle totally applies right now when his position at the company is completely different. Actually, was that even Jim Ryan in that interview? It might have been House.
It was Jim Ryan, but
okay,
it was him when he was overseeing Europe or something.
Yeah, so it's like...
I mean, it makes sense. Every stupid thing that came out of Sony was from Jim Ryan. Like that fucking... No one plays old games thing, I think, is like 6 years old.
Yeah, that one's like, I think that was around the same time. I think that was also 2017-ish. It was after they started shilling Gran Turismo Sport.
Yeah.
So that puts it around.
Remember it specifically because people were like, it's the Europe guy, who cares?
Yep. No, this whole thing's fucking cloud shoes. But we're going to move on. I actually have some really hype news. People know that when we talk about like game news, oftentimes I try to move Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo to the front, especially Sony and Microsoft since they just launched the new consoles and there's been a lot of news about them. And when it's Nintendo, it's usually a direct, so it's a giant fucking block.
Yeah.
That's why we don't usually cover them at the beginning. But we got some really great news. They added more support for more games for FPS Boost on Xbox Series consoles. And almost all the new ones are EA. So the noteworthy titles they're adding higher frame rates to is Mirror's Edge Catalyst, Titanfall 1 and 2, and every last-gen Battlefield are now 120 frames per second. That's fucking dope.
Yeah, that's
and
really
cool. This makes double sense, because if you pick up Game Pass Ultimate, you can just play all of these. Because they added EA Play to that. So you can just download every single one of these games and check it out.
Yeah, if you go check that out on Major Nelson's website, it actually has a special column in the data sheet that says in Game Pass.
Of course.
There are only 3 games on this list that aren't in there. They're all Ubisoft.
Did you see they're rolling out an update that will show you which games quick resume?
Yes, and thank God.
Jesus.
And they'll also like show you, they now have a little clipboard option on your dashboard as you're playing that'll be like, here are the states you currently have.
Yes.
The thought that it launched with that feature without this part of the feature that lets you know it's working is insane.
But here's the thing, if it just was bulletproof, we wouldn't need this part nearly as much.
Right.
It's just the part where it critically has failed me more times than it's worked.
The list is, I think, the most important one, where I'm like, oh shit, I was playing that earlier.
Right.
Let me just click back into that.
Yeah, that's huge.
Instead of what's happened to me recently is, I'll launch this thing I launched 2 days ago again, just because I'm like, where am I? Why am I here? It scares the hell out of me.
Yeah, every time it's done that to me, I just look at it and go, I don't want to start in the middle. I'm disoriented. I want to load a file and start at a checkpoint so my brain can begin to process. But covering the few things that I did in the highlights, Unravel 2 is 120 frames per second. Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2 on Series X are both 120 hertz. On Series S, only Battlefront 1 is Star Wars. And then Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville and Garden Warfare 2 are both 120 hertz, which is funny as hell. And Garden Warfare 1. And it's just like, man, those games are real, huh?
Yeah.
That always confuses me, where I'm like, those games aren't real. This was a puzzle series that did not evolve into something that is not that.
Yep. That's the better way to look at it. I think the weird part here is, out of all of this, my three most excited games, okay? Titanfall 2, Battlefield 4, and you know what? Let's just leave it at those two for now, okay? Battlefield 4 is 120 hertz on both systems. That's cool as hell. But if you think about it, that's going to be the Xbox One original resolution of everything, because it's not a dynamic res. It's too old for that. It was a launch title.
Yep.
So it's going to be 900p 120 hertz, which is going to has to be the weirdest fucking looking thing.
Yep.
But yeah, that game's pretty cool. I would love to get updates like these on PlayStation. I do not own either of those games on Xbox. But Titanfall 2's got to be real fucking good on the X, because they actually do have a Series or 1X support for Titanfall 2. So that's a 4K 120.
Oh, yeah, that was released late enough.
Yeah, it was released late enough, which is actually a huge part of going back and playing older games. I don't know if Mirror's Edge Catalyst was released late enough.
I don't think so,
it was,
because I don't think it even got a proper pro update.
It did get pro.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it has pro support. I'll look it up later.
Yeah,
but
it might have launched right at the same time as the pro.
Yes, I think it launched in the year after.
I wish that game were good.
Yep.
Being 120 won't save it, unfortunately.
But it'll look real cool.
Yes.
But yeah, that's all really cool. And technically, by running your TV at 120 hertz, it doesn't technically reduce even more input latency. So on a display side, running at 120 hertz will reduce latency, even if the game code being updated to that doesn't. On related news, when it comes to EA, we got Battlefield news. New Battlefield game coming in 2021, made by the largest team yet. They had a slew of fucking devs. It will be powered by, that's the quotation marks, next-gen consoles and PC, and they say it as, they phrase it as the largest amount of players yet.
What the fuck does powered by next-gen consoles and PC
I'm going to assume the straightforward way of reading that, and the way you would interpret it, is that it's only on next-gen and PC.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
That's what I'm hoping for.
And not Series S, right?
That's next gen. That's next gen. It just will look like a
well,
potato.
Well, somebody working on it said that it would scale down real easy, so I'm sure that version of the game will have no problems whatsoever.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's always worked with these gigantic teams too. Definitely no problems with it.
Gigantic teams of teams, because the studio list is like 6.
Jesus.
It's going to be real funny if it's like, the last Battlefield runs at 120 frames a second on the Series X. This runs like 22.
One of the interesting things about this whole thing is they make this announcement, they put up the studios that worked on it, and you look at it and you realize they don't list in the announcement itself. They say powered by technology. Let me Control F to get the exact phrasing. Okay.
Did they not use Frostbite?
One moment. Our friends at Criterion and DICE LA are working with us on our shared vision for the game, while the team in Gothenburg, which is named Electronic Arts Gothenburg, is taking technology in the game to the next level. This page still credits normal DICE.
Did everyone from DICE exit the studio?
Dude, that's what I told you years ago.
I know.
After 5 shipped. I was like, everyone I know who worked there is gone.
That's what I'd heard about, but I was like, well, is it just totally dead?
When you stress in your announcement of this game existing and it being next gen and impressive that the people working on the technology for it is a new studio instead of DICE, but you still have DICE credited, part of me just thinks DICE just let them use Frostbite. EA's just using Frostbite. The actual DICE studio gets credited based on that, because none of this mentions normal DICE in the PR.
That's so weird.
It's fucking bizarre. But yeah, it sounded like a lot of the core tech team at DICE was just sick of it and left. But who knows? We'll just have to see.
I'm surprised they announced this like this in a random like news article.
Yeah, they did a press release.
Like a press release.
Yeah.
That I feel like with some big new Battlefield, you wanted to bring to E3 and be like, here it is.
Oh, well,
look at how pretty it is.
Well, they said get ready for our reveal soon. Trademark winky emoji.
Of course.
Yeah, they're gonna do that thing where they'll do a 5 to 10 second teaser of check out the premiere, and then the premiere will be a cinematic trailer. Check back in a week for our EA Play presentation.
They found
check back later for a deep dive, and then I'm dead.
They found the perfect way to make it unhyped, just like that Star Wars game.
Yeah.
God, yes.
I just feel bad because if it follows the Star Wars thing exactly both times, that first tidbit will be cinematic like KZ's talking about. And they'll be like, this is rendered in engine. And I'm like, yeah, but I saw it last time. That's unbelievably bullshit.
Right.
Like, Battlefront 1's rendered in engine thing is unreal levels of fidelity. And then you play the game, you're like, it looks good, but Jesus, guys. So I'll just spend the whole time waiting until, EA plays hijacked by an excruciating segment that will not end by this game.
Do you think Greg Miller will have his mind Death Starred again this year?
You Death Starred my mind, man.
How many release dates do you think this Battlefield will have?
At least 3.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. 3.
Because it's got to have the EA All Access release. It's got to have the Deluxe Edition release. And of course, there's the regular release.
Yep.
Now, how many more they can go for? Who knows?
Who knows? But yeah, I'll also commit to
15
3.
start dates on this game.
15? Okay. Feel?
I'm going to go with 4.
This motherfucker Price is right at us.
Yes.
But no, Price is Right, you go below. Because if you go over, you lose anyway.
You feel just as 1.
No, there's no universe where it's just 1.
That would be amazing.
That would be a real change for
There
them.
should be 1. There should be 1.
Maybe they'll
Is
surprise
Phil
us.
most likely to go $1 on a Price is Right if he was on there with us?
I think he's the one set over what the person before him said type.
No, see, I'd be the asshole where it's like, I'm gonna say $5.36 because that's $4.99 plus tax.
Also, I don't.
And then Drew Carey goes security.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Feel strikes me as the person who went on to Press Your Luck, who memorized the pattern of the checkerboard thing, and then just won a hojillion.
Sociopath.
Yeah, that dude. That's what Feel is. So yeah, he probably did the same thing as that
dude
other guy.
rules.
And
That
looks.
dude who just made the game never end because he just can never fucking hit whammy.
Feel just found the warehouse that sells to Prices Right, and he just nails every piece of furniture, and they're like, "Get the fuck out of here." They also announced a new Battlefield mobile game. That's it. That's all I got. I don't know.
Okay.
But this post is written by Oscar Gabrielson. Gabrielson is a fake last name, but thank you for having a fake last name. That's the general manager of DICE.
Oh.
I'm actually very, very interested in this new Battlefield because I want Battlefield to be good, and it hasn't in a while, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like there's not even just like individual, like, hey, me and Dan are big Battlefield fans. We haven't liked the last 2. I feel like that's been the kind of general feel from every single person I've talked to about 1 and 5.
Yes, but everyone disagrees on where it fell off. A lot of people say 3.
Yeah.
I think 4 because 4 was excellent. You've a couple times said 2.
I mean, I still think that one's better than the others, but I still like 3 and 4.
Yeah.
So I can see the reasoning behind people thinking that it got bad with those.
Yeah, I think 4 is excellent. Real shame about everything after that because every time I'm like, ooh, this tech looks amazing, plays the game. Why am I bored?
So since it's at the most players, yeah, it will be the same amount as Mag has, like 255.
That's all I was thinking is that it's just going to be Battlefield Mag.
Because I'm trying to think of the most we've ever seen. I know it typically goes to 64.
Bob, it's time to rehash our mag skit.
Oh no.
That's content value. But let's get the rest of KZ's news.
Okay. First, the small thing. Square Enix confirms they'll be at E3 this year. Before they said they'd be doing a thing in June, but now they just confirmed to be at E3 because that E3 press release didn't include them.
Please, everybody get back on board with E3. We don't need what happened last year ever again.
No, we're fine now. We're good. Every place that said the only notable absentees are Bamco, which always appears in Xbox stuff anyway, with all of their big stuff.
And they never do their own show that's good, so, you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that only leaves EA, which was regularly not showing up, but doing it in the same week anyway, and Sony.
I'm sure Sony will have... And if Sony does anything, it'll just be a state of play, so it's like, okay.
Yeah, Sony can pretty competently put together a thing that doesn't make us want to end our lives, except for that 1 year with the church. But luckily, they can't kidnap people anymore and corral them around as like human cattle.
That church was the worst, and the fact they intended to move people like 4 times. What the fuck were they thinking?
Here's how you know we're not Sony ponies. Me and Bob, that year, we gave them the worst fucking showing.
Yeah, that was miserable.
We were
that was the worst.
Pissed. It was the worst. It was like, have you never seen People? Why did you think this would go perfectly? Why did you design You're Insane? So this was like the Sony that defined the development of The Last of Us Part 2 in my mind.
This embarrassed them so much, that's why they stopped coming into E3.
Yeah, which sucks because they had pretty good showings, I feel.
Oh, yeah, the God of War showing like the year before was amazing.
Yeah, they fucking nailed it with that. That shit was powerful.
I remember those because they just focused on games after game after game, and then Game Journal said, that's bad.
Yeah, they're stupid.
You could have just put that on YouTube.
Yeah, these are the same game journalists who are like, E3 doesn't serve a purpose anymore. And then when E3 went away, they're like, uh-oh.
Oh, I cry now.
Like,
oh, wow.
They need to... Well, these are the same people who were like, they should delay the new consoles because I'm tired of talking about them. Also, some shit I made up. People probably won't be able to afford them. Oh, wait, according to literally every single actual financial source, most people ended up with more savings during the pandemic because they couldn't spend it on anything.
Yeah, and they need something to help them not be so miserable. I can attest for this myself. It helped me immensely.
I'm excited for E3.
Yeah, me too.
E3 is always a holiday.
Guys, I love E3. When people say E3 is like Gamer Christmas or Gamer Super Bowl, it absolutely is. And when you split it up into the 7 Dragon Balls, it's not nearly as fun.
Yeah. It's Super Bowl is a good comparison. Because sometimes you have fun being like, yeah, that was great. And sometimes you have fun by going, you motherfucker, and throwing a bottle at your TV.
Yes. That is the exact spirit of E3.
I was a little worried at first. I'm like, oh, who will attach themselves to E3 when it was leaking that they were going to do a digital? Then they announced it. And then Doug Bowser of Nintendo's like, I'm so pumped. You guys are going to love it. I was like, oh God, is
That's
this
great.
real? Are we actually like getting stuff? And they're like, yeah.
Nintendo can talk about stuff at that point because then they can talk about the Switch Pro.
Yes! You know what?
Yes!
We need to make some predictions on that.
We do.
But this is not the time nor the place.
Oh. All right. Moving on to other news. Tales of Arise is launching September 10th. They put out a new trailer as well as 7 minutes of gameplay.
Oh, I didn't see that was up separate. I need to go watch that because the trailer looks sick.
There's like direct feed gameplay. Wow.
I'm so fucking glad that these games have area design again. The last couple have been
a lot of people
rough.
making a complaint about this gameplay that was making me mad. Where they're like,
what?
I missed the seamless transition where the field is your battlefield. I'm like, no, you don't.
That ruins area design, you dense motherfuckers. You fucking idiots. Do you realize that is why every area in the last couple were giant fucking hallways? Do you know how
I put the gameplay in the fucking chat here, but yeah, it looks really good. The soundtrack is going full orchestral, which blew my mind. One thing that I thought was a little unfortunate at first is that they don't have like the post dialogue things or the post battle things. or they'll like do a bit or anything. It just kind of takes you out of it.
Huh? Yeah, that's unfortunate to lose because those are always goofy.
Yeah, but aside from that, this is what I've been waiting for years. The jump in quality for Tails is pretty nuts.
Yeah, no, this looks like
it isn't even that different from the old one. It's just like a different camera perspective and looks way more high rent.
Yeah, just them jumping to, I think they're doing Unreal.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
the jump here is pretty nuts. And then they're like, next gen version's confirmed. Yes, we have a mode for 60.
Yeah, the areas look really good. They aren't just giant hallways. Again, people, yes, I'm sure you think fighting on the map is cool. That means any area that has enemies has to be designed for you to do that, which is why if you go play Zestiria or Berseria, it's all giant boxy rooms. And this is so much better. I'm so excited. Like, I'm excited looking at the mini map in this footage and being like, oh, this area is narrow hallways. They couldn't do that for the past few games because you had to fight enemies there.
I got to tell you how happy it makes me to be like, yeah, this Japanese franchise that's been going for a long time now, been using questionable engines perhaps, now using Unreal Engine 4, like the latest tech, and it looks high rent as hell, and it sounds like a good game, and I'm like, if only all of them could this is so great.
Yeah. No, it's...
Mm-hmm. They should just use Unreal. Not only that, like Unreal, I'm sure has so many tools for making development easier.
Yes, that's why it's such a good choice.
I'm sure that a company that's using a proprietary engine versus a company using Unreal with the same amount of money, the Unreal team can make a much better game.
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Like that's why we harp on the use Unreal. Use Unreal.
Yeah,
it's not weird epic fanboyism. It's we want these developers to have an easier time so we can have better games and better games more frequently.
Yeah.
Because the number one cause of Japanese games in 7th gen and even a little bit of 8th gen vanishing for years and then releasing shitty was some weird engine.
Yeah. Also, this isn't a fanboyism thing. I spent most of the 7th gen shit talking Unreal Engine 3 because it couldn't run games well at all. Unreal Engine 4 is a completely different kettle of fish.
Yeah, NetherRealm had Epic didn't know Unreal 3 could do 60 until the NetherRealm team made it do 60 for MK9.
Yeah,
like,
they
we don't know how to do that.
They ripped out the entire lighting system and remade it from the ground up themselves.
Yeah.
Because Unreal 3 was bad enough and it made assumptions about what you wanted to do with lighting and other things that just made it hard to run any game at 60. Hell, most games didn't even run at 30. But yeah, no, this looks cool as hell. This looks great. That's very exciting. Isn't this getting a piece?
So many fucking Tales games in the same fucking engine. This just doesn't look like this franchise, Dan.
Yeah.
They made like fucking 8 fucking Tales games in 7th gen.
Yeah, they made everything look almost the same as Grace's all the way up until like last gen.
The only new thing they added to Berseria was some areas have little particles that kind of float because this is only on PS4.
This now has like the Atelier Ryza thing going on where it's like, oh, you have really good lighting for an anime game. It looks weird hitting these anime characters. Realistic lighting.
They showed like an exchange between characters and I'm like, this is anime, but this is also like money?
Yeah.
And the world design still looks a little too real.
See, that's the thing I like heading into next gen, because eventually we're going to hit anime style, but ray traced lighting.
I don't know if I'm ready for that.
That'll be so fucking funny.
We're going to hit they'll have ray tracing, but it'll still look like a mid-range PS4 game other than that. So it'll look really bizarre.
Good. I'm here for that shit.
God, this footage, like you have things you can climb.
Yes.
It's not like here you can ride a skateboard that you get 80% of the way through the game and only goes like 10% fast. You can swim. Like, damn, I can be excited for a Tales of game again and not be like, well, maybe the story will be cool.
Or just a personality that counts, huh?
Looks like they completely got rid of like the technique points, and now you have like pips that recharge that you use to do your moves, which I think is a good change.
Okay, I was wondering if the pips were similar to Berseria's thing with like fucking souls.
There's no like there's still tech points, it looks like.
Yeah,
but they also go away when they do a special move.
One thing people did notice by looking at like the information on the website that they updated, this seems to be the first Tales game that's just cutting co-op entirely.
Yeah, it makes sense. You can't really do it with the camera angles they're using now unless you do split screen, which of course, being enormous.
Yeah, I figured it'd have to go eventually. I'm surprised it lasted this long.
Yeah, honestly.
I honestly didn't even know it was there. I'm like, maybe I knew for Tales of Symphonia.
All right, well, that's it's good to finally see Tales of Arise appear in any fashion that is sizable since its announcement 2 years ago. But glad to see it's back and it's coming out.
Yeah, we got a release date now.
Yeah, it's coming out September 10th. That's great. Speaking of things that are finally coming out, the great Ace Attorney Chronicles has been announced for PS4, Switch, and PC coming July 27th. Please be excited for Sherlock Sholmes,
that's
the
so
greatest
funny.
detective.
Listen, Sherlock Holmes, the Conan Arthur Doyle's
estate.
Arthur Conan Doyle's estate. Y'all should just take whatever money people are willing to give you. You guys are acting nuts. Like you had Sherlock Holmes respect women. He only does that in the stories we still own. We're gonna sue you. It's like, come on.
Yeah, that's insane.
Just be willing to take what you can get at this point. You have like 3 years left. Yeah. And you should have lost this 60, 70 years ago.
Yes. Absolutely.
My last piece of news, Nocturne HD showed off some previews. People talking about general impressions and gameplay. Someone posted a cutscene, and that is just Ruben Langdon voicing Dante. It's really good.
Good.
That's great. The only way
we finally have the final form of DMC2 Dante.
Can't wait for the game to be remade with him voicing it.
I mean, to be fair, if they can do what they've done with Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3, turning them into insane next gen shit, do it to 2.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah,
Who cares?
I still think that they might even just do 1 and then 2. Like, they might go crazy.
On one hand, my brain just went, I don't need 1 remade. And I'm like, no, yeah, I want that.
Yeah.
I may want that more than I want a new one.
Because they already made a lot of those enemies in the new Fidelity.
That's true.
I think I only need that to hear Ruben Langdon go, finally, a man of honor.
Yes!
Oh my God! What if Nilo Angelo takes off his helmet and it's like blue DMC5 Virgil?
Yes, exactly. It's gonna be blue, fucking like he ate too much cotton candy. DMC5 Virgil, and it's gonna be Dan Southworth going, "Ooh, it's his mic."
Oh man, why are you gonna make me want it?
And we'll know 5 years before it comes out because he'll accidentally leak it during a con panel or something.
Of course.
Yeah.
Not again.
Southworth airdropping in with a parachute to accidentally leak DMC.
I lost it at in the cutscene they also showed the Rido version because there's 2 versions of that game you play.
Mm-hmm.
And Ray Chase voices Rido Kuzunoha's cat, who, from what I can tell, is the only one that talks. Rido grunts.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah,
because I think that's how it works in the game too. Like mostly the dialogue be told to the cat.
Yeah.
Did they give Dante Pierce so he isn't objectively worse than Rido?
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, they added like some auto ability that makes it so that he's just as good as Rido. So eventually, if you pick him up, Ray Chase announced, I play Goto the cat in SMT3, and then made another tweet in all caps. But more importantly, I'm the subway announcer in SMT3 Nocturne. And just went all in, because he's also the subway announcer in Persona 5. Atlas is using him in every game that needs a subway announcer for some reason.
I mean, they're canon.
That's great.
It's they're making their own universe out of that, and I really appreciate it.
Holy shit, I'm looking at this Returnal direct capture footage. Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh yeah, I was looking at that earlier and I went, oh yeah, this is a PlayStation 5 game.
Yeah, this is, as it turns out, Sony money.
Yes.
And Housemarque Core.
Those previews went out
Yeah.
And all those previews go, man, I sure forgot what a PS5 game is. because all of them have a 2.5-minute segment talking about that controller.
Yeah.
Talking about feeling rain in it and your alt fire being tied to how hard you press down a trigger.
Yeah, it's really cool to see so much positive energy to come out about next-gen stuff because we had a little bit of a lull there. Also makes me feel good to see so many people speaking about Housemarque game, let alone so glowingly, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, people need to know about Housemarque. They're great.
Yeah.
I like how they have to warn you because they know this is going to be a big like product that a bunch of the mass market's going to actually play. So the game opens with a little splash screen bubble that just goes, "This game's hard. You're gonna keep doing runs." Like before you start, just know that you die and then you start over. It's hard.
Well, it's like preemptive. Unlike the Nier one was like, you beat the game, but that's not the end. Please keep playing.
and then some game journalist ignored it anyway.
I need Dynasty Warriors to open like that, Bob, but it just goes, beating it as one character is just one story. You don't get to write your review yet.
They patch it out like 2 weeks later after the review cycle is seemingly done.
Yep, that's perfect.
Just put it only in the game journalist version. You can have different SKUs.
Jesus.
That's much better than the shit I think either EA or Ubisoft got caught doing, where it's like upgrade costs are like a tenth of what they actually are, so you don't realize how bad we fucked with microtransactions.
Yep, I appreciate every review that goes, it seems fine now, but we have no idea if these prices will change. Man, yeah, I'm so fucking excited for Returnal. Anyways, we should get back to news. Hey, Bob.
Hey.
We were just talking about Dante from the Devil May Cry series. Would you like to talk about DMC Pinnacle of Combat?
Yes, the amazing looking Devil May Cry game we saw at the Apple event.
No, that is not an accurate description. Please.
No, I think it is.
Yep.
That is not an amazing looking game.
Oh, yes, it is.
That looked cool.
It looks pretty rough.
It looks worse than Devil May Cry 4 by a lot.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's a mobile game.
Any Devil May Cry game that has cutscenes that seem like they're just from God Hand.
So it's a Devil May Cry game made by China, apparently with some supervision from Capcom, so it's not like completely off the rails. It uses the universe of 3.
Yeah. It's got enemies from 3 and stuff.
Yeah, and Dante even's got the same outfit.
It doesn't look as good as 3.
It doesn't, but I'm still excited.
Yeah,
It doesn't, but I'm buying a new phone.
I'm excited to watch the full cutscene movie when it's finished.
I mean, shit, man. Based on the later parts of this exact news segment, you may just watch us play a Hey Bob.
Hey,
let's talk about the Apple event.
The Apple event made me want to buy a new iPad Pro and an Apple TV 4K because I don't know. They kept showing me Devil May Cry and then splicing with images of these cool features.
Yeah, I saw some tweet you made that's like, this makes me want to buy multiple Apple products right now.
So the interesting thing about the iPad Pro, the new one, is that it not only has USB 3.0 and USB Type-C, or 3.2 or 3.1, fuck the USB consortium. Anyways, it has Thunderbolt, like the latest spec, Thunderbolt 4, I believe it is, and it can support 4K 120 HDR out from the iPad Pro, and I'm like, fuck. Because that's, 1, cool as hell, 2, Jesus. In 3, for anyone who doesn't know, the iPad Pros have that variable refresh rate built straight into them. So even if apps can't run at 120 frames per second, they look smooth as fucking shit. And the new larger iPad has a fucking unbelievably good LCD like HDR screen built into it. That motherfucker has more dimming zones than a fucking QLED TV from Samsung. It's like got micro LEDs built into it and a shitload of them. And I'm like, you know, if an LCD that's trying to be HDR is ever going to look really good, it's this. It's this basically a square-shaped 4K tiny tablet that's, well, it's not tiny for a tablet, but it is tiny compared to a TV, with a shitload of dimming zones crammed into it and over twice as much brightness as this OLED in this fucking tablet. peak brightness, of course. So like this thing looks really good, but Bob's actually looking at it for different reasons and may not even get the 12.9.
Yeah. I'm tempted just because that screen does look really nice, but I know I'd put one of the like drawing pads over it so it'd look worse.
It would look worse, but admittedly, it the whole gimmick is that it's bright as hell, so it'd probably cut through that a little bit more than.
That's true.
I mean, the thing is probably 4 times as bright as your current iPad.
Probably. I think they listed nits of each of them, so I could check on that comparison chart.
Yeah, that is something you could look into. Yeah, the new iPad Pro looks real good, real powerful.
Yeah, use the chip the Mac Mini.
New Mac Mini looks. Yeah. Which is the M1 for anyone who didn't keep up with that. That was the same thing that powered that cursed Mac Mini I got. It's cursed because it didn't work with my exact monitor, and the way it presented this was the most insane glitch I've ever seen in a computer ever. I'll never know if they ever fix that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you're thinking about it?
I'm thinking about it. I have until the 30th to decide, and then
you know what, chat, comments, fill it up with whether or not Bob deserves nice things. See, I'm gonna own you just like Spiff and you own me.
That's fair.
No, here's what you need to do: make this a live premiere. He was right.
Fucking owned.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that comment.
2 a.m. premiere? What?
I'm gonna need that comment section to say whether or not Bob deserves nice things, because I think Bob deserves nice things. Everyone appreciate Bob.
What's up?
Everyone appreciates your drawings on Armchair Devs.
Okay.
There is
Of course.
there is not one person who doesn't appreciate what you do. Also,
I like that one time you drew fries for a stream.
hell yes. See, we'll just have to do another one of those. Also worth noting, if Bob gets a new nice iPad Pro, maybe I get his old iPad since we bought it with the GigaBoots money.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I get to draw more easily, shitty things because I'm bad at drawing.
No, Dan, we must trade it in for the new iPad.
Let's trade it in at GameStop. Hell yeah, $20. Let's go to Crystals. Oh no, it's all gone.
That's reminding me of the Apple Pencil 2.
Oh yeah.
If I order that straight from them, I get it engraved for free.
He told me this. I fucking lost it. I was like, you get a free engraving with the fucking pencil?
Yeah.
Wow.
That sounds privileged as shit. Oh my god.
I was just like,
you should have something stupid engraved into it.
I was thinking about just having it say gun.
Oh.
That is what it's being used for.
Holy shit. And you said you were What's up? Go
We'll
ahead.
have more moments where he just tweets, sorry for something that I drew, and then it's content that comes out 5 months from now.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, that's the thing. You'll get a ton of use out of it.
That's true.
That's the number one reason why I can't commit. I'm like, I'm bad at drawing. I'm fucking terrible at it. I will not get as much use. But yeah, you were saying you were also interested in the Apple TV 4K?
Yeah, the Apple TV, they have a new remote for it, and I'm honestly looking for something that just has all the streaming apps that I actually want to use, and not just, well, I hope they put this on Xbox or PlayStation.
Right.
It's like Retro Crush and a few other anime things. They're just like, no, we're not doing anything new.
Oh, and they're not on your TV.
They're not on the TV.
Yeah, in fact, the TV has less than the PlayStation, doesn't it? Or at least the Xbox? It's kind of rough.
Like, should I get an Apple TV? Oh.
Yeah.
The new one actually supports not only 8K HDR, but 4K 120. The new Apple TV does, which is pretty cool. What was it? They were like, we're working with people to put out more content that's 4K 60 HDR. And I'm like, look at broadcast television trying to catch up to video game consoles. Every time people are like, there's not much 4K content right now. And I'm like, oh, you silly non-gamers.
They're all looking up at us and we're like made of gold and 3 stories.
Yes.
We all have
and in 12K.
We all have a bottle
Smoking Winston cigarettes.
We all have a bottle of Cheerwine and a cigar.
I play Ys 8 at 8K.
Hey, by the way, fuck you, Nippon Ichi Software of America. Where's that fucking patch?
I don't know.
It's still not here.
God.
To fucking put that shit out, what are you doing?
It's with Disgaea 6 on PS4.
Yes.
I will.
Sorry.
That isn't funny. That would be a new level of nothing good for no reason.
Yeah, it really would.
I'm sorry. I immediately felt guilt upon saying it.
See, it took me a while to process what you had said, and once I did, I was like, "Oh, why did he do that?"
Yeah, we didn't. Thanks to our Switch deal, we just can't make the other versions of the game good. They also have to be rough like the Switch version.
We need to make it so that your perception is this is the bar of quality for all of our games.
These lines not even on Switch yet. Or maybe it came out last month. It came out super late if it did.
I don't think it's out. No, I don't think it's out yet.
Yeah.
I think the only other thing worth noting, other than the insane Mission Impossible parody sketch they made, that makes no fucking sense.
It's great. It's so bad that it's good.
A man who looks like Andy Dick invades stealth penetration through the air ducts, Apple headquarters to steal the M1 chip to stick it in the iPad Pro, rips off a mask, Mission Impossible style, and is in fact the CEO of Apple. And I'm like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. You're the CEO.
Also, yeah, you should have done one of the more recent ones. They should have, like, or even the one from 10 years ago where they fucking make the fake hallway with mirrors or whatever that was.
Tim Cook gets hit in the throat with a pipe in a bathroom.
Okay, yeah, just do the recent ones where it's just brutally fucked up.
Like, he takes off the mask, looks at the camera and says, "See, Tom Cruise, you don't have to make these movies a weird bet between you and the crew on how long you'll live."
In this one, someone tries to steal our chip and gets seared in the face with hot oil.
You do your own stunts, right, Tom Cruise? And he's like, "Yes."
Fucking, it's only God forgives, and someone tries to steal the M1 chip, and he just brutally beats them to death, and it's like,
God, I can't wait for the next movie.
Like, man, this conference is great.
Did they announce the next Mission Impossible?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they announced the next two were going to be like, they were going to do them back to back, but the stuff.
Yeah.
But I think they're almost done filming the next one.
Okay, to get us
I'm excited.
I wish I weren't this hype about Mission Impossible.
Yeah,
they really turned things around after
because
3.
Every other franchise, every other movie franchise just feels like you get more and more depressed and more like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, just all of these franchises just level out, and you have to be accepting of, like, they don't care anymore. But Mission Impossible got way better as it went.
Yeah, Mission Impossible and Fast and the Furious woke the fuck up. It was crazy.
Like, 3's the low point, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And it's still pretty good. It's still better than, like, Live Free, Die Hard.
If you watch 5 minutes of it, it's the peak.
Yeah, there are moments that are great in 3, unlike anything in Live Free, Die Hard.
Live Free, Die Hard is literal sleep medication.
Yes.
Man, to get us out of this Apple stuff, though, I don't remember how many other things they announced. They announced AirTags, which is just stick it on things you don't want to lose. There you go. Great. I've described the concept to you.
In a purple iPhone. I think that's about it.
Yeah, they announced last year's iPhone, but purple, and I'm like, nice try, fuckers. You put a USB on that, or I'm not buying shit. But I would like to know, this purple iMac they made looks really fucking good. Since everything's powered by that M1, it's basically a giant fucking iPad that is a built-in computer. And part of me's just like, God, it's $4.5K, and it's all integrated and nice, and there won't be a monitor incompatibility problem. Part of me started to imagine living indoors and having a nice desk in the living room with this thing on it, which I could just use to, not make content and thus not have to put myself in that mind frame and maybe relax ever. And then I was like, right, living indoors, that's
yeah, no,
still not working out right now. Anyways,
not on the table.
You know what's nice about normal products? You can go to a store and buy them, and you don't have to, like, negotiate and sell yourself as a human being to the cashier or store.
God. They'll just say automatically no without ever talking to you once.
And in fact, I can check this in advance, and I don't lose $120. I just go to my bank account, look at if I can afford it, and then I get it. Wow, what a concept. What a fucking notion. Anyways, this thing's beautiful. I love purple. This thing looks great. I wish I had this thing. It is not cheap.
Well, come April 30th, maybe we'll own that.
Yeah, maybe. Fucking doubt it, but maybe. Who fucking knows? Are you saying I should pre-order this on April 30th? Because maybe by the time they actually ship it, I'll have a house.
Maybe.
This seems like sound logic. Anyways,
Do it.
We're gonna move on from the Apple news. Some of those products look neat. That iPad Pro, real impressive shit.
Yeah.
I want Bob to buy the large one so I can see that screen because I need to know for science.
I would like to have an even bigger screen. Like, that's the other thing that's getting me of like, man, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Plus, we do the Bob Draw streams. So I'm not going to be cynical and say this. Never mind, I will. People will respect you more as an artist if your drawing tablet is huge.
I'm sure.
Hey, man.
Yeah, you got to get one of those ones that's the entire desk.
Yeah.
Then they look at what I'm drawing and then they lose all respect.
It's just dick butt. That's true. They need to make iPads that are even larger so that way they are Cintiq size. Because those, like...
Draw Gex dabbing.
Yeah, you draw Gex dabbing. They're like, oh, I thought this guy was an artist. Why the fuck do I watch this channel? Anyways, hey, Bob.
Hey.
Oh, there's one last thing we forgot to mention.
What's that?
And this may not be new, per se. But remember how they show that feature where if you plug it into a Mac, you can literally use it as a second screen? So if you had an Illustrator app...
Oh, yeah, there was some weird thing with that. I don't understand how it works, so I don't want to talk about it because I might just be entirely wrong.
Okay, that's fine. We can check how that works by buying those things.
Oh, no!
Let's move on, though.
As you can see, it's already in your cart.
I wonder how many people instantly remember that's the Amazon episode of Armchair Dev.
Very strong episode.
God, was it good. That was a good episode. We're such a great network. Give us more money. Thank you. Bob, let's move on.
Sure. Just top of the news then.
Sure.
Jeff Kaplan, director of Overwatch, is leaving after 19 years at Blizzard. I didn't see any specific reasons, but I guess he just wants to move on. The new Overwatch 2 director will be the previous assistant director, Aaron Keller. Someone else who's also been at Blizzard for a really long time.
Okay.
So it doesn't seem like this will change much. This seems pretty normal.
Yeah.
He's been there 19 years.
I'll miss this dude's.
Yes.
Even when I don't play Overwatch, I watched his videos, and someone posted a clip of him trying to spin team compositions, where he's like, I know some people think this is limiting, but Shakespeare did so much with so little. I'm like, I love this guy so much.
Yeah, just all the videos that have been made of Jeff Kaplan in his content directly are all great.
Or they deep fake edit his voice.
Yes. He will be missed.
Yeah, absolutely. Since this isn't Naughty Dog, I assume we're not going to have an insane story that people fabricate about. Yeah, the new guy. He led an uprising to knock out Jeff Kaplan.
Probably not.
Even if Overwatch 2 gets delayed 3 more years, we won't get that.
Yeah. That was just business as usual. Love Jeff Kaplan. Remember when for Christmas he would just sit in a reclining chair next to a fireplace and do nothing?
I really hope the new guy taking over does do videos like those. Just try and keep the community together, because it's cool to have that.
Hey guys, they told me to say I'm Jeff Kaplan. Wouldn't it be funny if he had a really grumbly voice? Oh yeah, we didn't talk about the one funniest thing about the fucking Apple thing.
Oh,
so the head of the marketing has the most, and you gotta understand, Casey knows this best of all. My bar for whether or not I am impressed by a voice a human has is the highest bar in human history.
Yeah, you're very mean.
I'm cruel in my honesty. Phil may have hyped Casey's voice a lot to me. Anyways, Casey has a nice voice. He doesn't have the most unbelievable voice. This man does. This marketing director has simultaneously the most soothing and soft, calming voice and grumbly voice I've ever heard. He could talk you down from a ledge while sounding like an action movie narrator. It's so fucking weird. It's such a specific cross-section of voice.
Yeah, you have to watch the iPad segment of that Apple event. He's incredibly good. He puts everyone else in that event to shame.
Yeah, everyone else is a human. I don't know how this man escaped the movie universe.
Yeah, I should I should show you that the Square Enix Presents that they did recently. The director of the new Life is Strange's voice was soothing me pretty hard.
Okay, cool. I need to watch that. Here, I'm just going to link you to this specific time. I'll try to remember to do it in the description field so that way people who don't want to, scour a fucking Apple conference, because fuck that, for one guy, as he just has this really gruff but like soothing sounding voice.
I was really disappointed to go back to the previous Apple event to hear about the iPad. What was it?
The iPad Air or whatever.
Yeah, and for him not to be talking about it, I was like, oh, come on.
He's like almost raspy, but he's also grumbly, but he's also soothing. Anyways, we're done.
Okay.
We're the weirdest podcast on the internet. Thank you for your support.
Certainly, yeah.
Let's fucking move on, Bob.
Virtua Fighter Esports was added to the Japanese PSN. It was added in a way no one can see publicly
Yes,
yet.
it just got an ID on the Japanese PSN.
The same ID went up on the Asian PSN, just called Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown.
Oh.
Which is like a real name instead of Virtua Fighter Esports, so I don't know which one we're getting in the States.
Here's the thing, Sega already did this. That's why Persona-sama did that joke years ago now. It was like 3 years ago.
Yes, they did.
Where he was like, I love this new franchise, and it was all these different franchises from Sega, but esports at the end of it.
Puyo Esports. And
that one's real.
Yeah, I know.
This
is a real thing they do.
It's so tacky.
It is. But I'd love to be able to buy this again. I should have talked about me testing the PS series that we got.
Yeah. We in the gap of time that Sony decided to look like dipshits and fuck up. I bought 2 more PS3s, one to hack, one to have in case mine fails because it's quite old at this point. Bob tested those, so he got to. What did you play?
I played a little bit of Virtua Fighter 5.
Yeah.
The original PS3 release, still pretty fun.
Cool.
I like that. I wish it had all the characters. I'd love to be able to buy that on a new platform.
Same. Virtua Fighter 5 is pretty cool.
Yeah. It's the main thing. I also, played like an hour plus of Devil May Cry 4, the original release, which is rough.
Oh, boy.
Wait, the original release? Oh, God, it's PS3. Oh, God.
Yeah. Get to that Mission 2 boss and watch him destroy the frame rate with his fire powers.
I always remember it being better than the Tokyo Game Show slowdown and frame rate chug. And I'm glad it is, but yeah, it is really, really bad in the final game.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty funny how bad it is. I also shoot Ninja Gaiden Sigma to play that a little bit. It's like, yeah, this is still fun.
Yeah. No, Ninja Gaiden Sigma is real good, except for the Rachel parts.
Yeah, which I didn't get to because of the new save.
Oh, brilliant. That's the way I like to play it, too.
Yes.
Oh, that's a lady I'm playing as. I'm going to pause and eject the disc.
I'm so glad they made all their characters playable in the later ones because everyone's better than Rachel.
Bob, I will buy that collection in a heartbeat if there's a toggle that says no Rachel missions. I'll be like, okay, time to death stream it right now.
Oh man, that'd be an interesting one to try.
Slider, like the toxic gamer one.
Oh, I thought it would be like the spider one. Give me less Rachel.
Could you turn Rachel into a Ryu Hayabusa shaped thing so I'm not scared?
Okay, now her level ends after 1 room.
Thank you.
Ooh.
In my last piece of news, Star Ocean Amnesia? Amnesius?
Amnesis. Yeah.
The mobile game that's been running since 2016.
Oh.
Ends service in Japan on June 24th. This is sad because it's the last bastion of maybe they want to do something with Star Ocean over at Square Enix. So it's sad to see this go. Lots of cool new art was made for that game. I still want to have hope for the series.
I mean, that PS4 one did come out after they started this.
Yes, it did. So there is some
momentum that was there for more than this one instance.
Right. You're talking about the port of the first one, right?
No, I'm talking about that PS4 Star Ocean.
When is Integrity and Faceless?
Bob, 2016. No way. It can't be 2016. That shit was
it launched alongside it. It was March 31st, 2016.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I was like, they were almost the same time. I remember that much.
I remember because I watched streams of the next Star Ocean, and then they're like, "Look at the mobile game." And I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. So this was launched kind of alongside that.
Huh. Okay. Well then.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're still doing those port. They did that one port. Hopefully they continue with that. They also ported 4, so I still want to have hope.
Yeah.
I thought it was really funny because they're also shutting down the Kingdom Hearts mobile game finally, and they're like, it's shutting down next month, and then they went, we have to delay that. Our final chapter, we can't get it done in time, so we have to delay us shutting the game down so we have more time to finish it.
That's
weird.
Yeah, they're like, the final chapter will now be in 2 parts. We have to delay getting rid of the servers for 6 weeks. It makes sense when they said, we have 2 Flash artists. That game is made with $10.
Jesus.
I think it makes them more than $10.
Well, that's good. I'm glad they're making more than $10. Jesus Christ. Okay, we're going to Feels News.
Okay. Friday Night Funkin', the Newgrounds Rhythm Sensation, which I think has crashed Newgrounds twice because it gets incremental updates.
I mean, it crashed it again this week.
Yeah, it crashed it again this week.
Yeah, I saw it on trending. That's how I learned about it.
It has something like 25 million plays or something like that. But launched on Kickstarter, as of right now, it has $1.15 million.
Friday Night Funkin' the full ass game.
Yeah, and I'm pretty optimistic about this Kickstarter because we make more content stretch goals were really high, like insanely high. So I'm like, oh, good, you understand how money works.
Yes,
yeah,
it's always good when they understand.
They have they have a stretch goal for 1.8 million. Then the next one's 3 million. We'll port it to the PS1.
Wait, what? They didn't have that up when I looked?
If this is reached, we will port Friday Night Funkin' to PS1 and sell physical copies, even if it's at a loss, because goddamn, it'd just be too sick.
4 million. Friday Night Funkin' Sakuga. We will pay an anime studio to create a cel-drawn anime week-themed level with crazy Sakuga shit. Hand-drawn, full movie quality motion. It would be insane, just like it'd be insane if we actually released this. And $5 million, Pico's School Remake plus Pico's School 2 inside Friday Night Funkin', meaning the old Flash game featuring the Newgrounds mascot would be remade, and they would make the sequel inside this game.
That's awesome.
Then their last one's just scaring me, where they're like, we will make a Nightmare AU. This will cost us $10 million.
Which, while successful, I think they'll probably hit somewhere around all their initial goals. And okay, good. Good.
Yeah, they got 25 days left, and they're already at the 1.15 million.
Yeah, but it usually peters off real hard about this point, and then it stays kind of petered off until the end.
Yeah, that's true.
And then it punches another like 600,000 in the last 12 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah.
So that's neat. I was like, what is this? Why do I keep seeing this girl in a red dress and her giant ass on my Twitter? I guess I should find out what this means.
I must get to the bottom of this giant ass.
Why am I Orson Welles?
Also, her name is just Girlfriend.
Yeah, I don't think any of the characters have names. I don't even think the protagonist has a name.
Yeah, I think he's boyfriend.
Yeah, it's about him having to do rhythm against her demonic parents so they can keep dating.
Cool. Sounds like
it's very like Parappa the Rappa and Jammer Lammy type things. Discord's not being bought by Microsoft, and following up last week when I got hit with the despair bullet, nobody's buying Square Enix either.
Hooray.
Man, Square Enix was like almost immediately the next day. No.
Maybe it's in the back.
And finally,
nothing's in the back.
You think what are you saying? It's workshop in the back? All we got in there is the clipboard with our schedules and the brownies Darcy brought in.
But online they said you were getting bought. Yeah. What does it look like?
What do your eyes say?
What do your eyes?
Jesus. Sometimes I just get a brain disease where I have to quote one really good TikTok user.
Yeah. John Garvin, a man who looks like a side character in The Sopranos and director and writer of Days Gone.
Oh, he fucking nailed it.
Yeah, I think I nailed it. KZ can tell me whether or not that's accurate.
Oh,
Yeah.
Scale of gabagool.
Oh my god, I've been to his Twitter. He just posts food that he cooks, and a lot of times it looks really bad and makes me feel a little bit better.
Understand, audience. Usually his big joke is in the notes. He didn't write it. The Days Gone insane man Jaffe is all he wrote.
That's really fucking good.
Anyway, he went on David Jaffe's YouTube show and got asked a bunch of questions, and people have been uncritically parroting most of the things he says, which, no? Let's run down some of the things he said. First, he said, fuck you, buy games at launch for full price or else fuck you, which is a stupid take. You know, I don't think anybody has to argue against that. He didn't even really have... Like, it really was just cope that Days Gone didn't sell millions of units at launch. He literally says, like, God of War got millions of sales at launch and Days Gone didn't. I'm like, one of those is God of War.
Yeah, you made a new IP. God of War 1 didn't sell anywhere near as good as Days Gone. Well, yeah. At first, anyways.
Then he talks about piracy on Siphon Filter Dark Mirror, and I'm like, yeah, I'm sure that piracy fucking killed Siphon Filter. Dark Mirror on PSP.
PSP was rampant with piracy from basically day one.
Yeah, so I understand the piracy complaints from this man who worked on PSP for most of his career.
Yeah.
And then he said a bunch of other stuff like Sony only cares about Metacritic score. If your game is a 70, it won't get a sequel. Sony's only he's one of the sources for Sony only cares about giant AAA games. They don't want to do anything smaller. I would say not to take this man's words at face value, considering he was fired for repeated repeated personality complaints.
Personality like he's too zany?
Personality like he's an asshole?
Okay.
He says he was given HR training multiple times. And he got so mad that when people would come to talk to him, he'd just scream like, just tell me what you want and get the fuck out of here.
Oh my god. Yeah, he kept going around on the studio grounds just listening to NPR and screaming.
Debating it seemed like.
This is fucking weird.
Come on, these people need something to run that narrative that Sony only wants to make blockbusters.
Yeah.
So they've taken this insane homeless man off the street from a podcast.
Hashtag Garvin Gang is a thing he kept yelling.
Like, another thing is like his studio is a AAA studio, so
yeah,
he would see it from that angle.
And like, here's the thing that kills me. My first thought on him being the source for Sony only cares about AAA. It's like Sony Bend built up their studio for Days Gone. You can't do a smaller game all that much smaller from that point.
No, not without massive layoffs, which you don't want to do.
Which would be bad. You'd be bleeding talent, and you don't get to bleed talent. Only Naughty Dog does.
Yeah, that's what you get to bleed talent when you sell 35 million copies of whatever.
A fucking dog shit game.
So yeah, like just he seems to have problems. I think it would be really funny if they made Days Gone 2 now, and he's not the writer, and all of a sudden Deacon Days Gone is a much more balanced character.
It's like suddenly he gets normal.
See, here's what I see instead, right? Days Gone 2 has a new protagonist. Deacon Days Gone is still a main character. New protagonist sees how blatantly crazy Deacon is. That would be good. That would be like, a reasonable follow-up
now I'm
in
just
a sequel.
imagining this morphing into their Last of Us 2.
Right. See, this would be like a good one though, where it's like we characterized our character more instead of less by reducing them into weird characters that fall into plot holes or become revenge-fueled monsters with barely any depth. This would be like, this character is going to be shown in a new light where this person who cares about them tries to get them to do things that would help them not harm themselves enough that they care about. Oh, you're looking sick, brother. You stay up here in the watchtower alone and, start festering. I've got side quests. See ya.
And just came out. The Steam page for Monster Hunter Stories 2 has gone up, which means that Capcom leak from last year, where they told us like every single game in development, is true, because it also had Resident Evil 4 VR in it and the Ace Attorney collection and all that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that seemed pretty trustworthy when it came out.
looking forward to Dragon's Dogma 2, because I think that was on that list.
Yeah, I think it was.
I mean, he basically said that they'd let him do it again after Devil May Cry, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Bob heads keep on winning. Watch. I'm going to play Dragon's Dogma 2 and be like, Bob, I'm so sorry I didn't play Dragon's Dogma 1. This is so good. And then I go back and play 1. I'm like, Bob, what? This sucks.
I mean, there are lots of things in Dragon's Dogma 1 that do suck.
Yeah, it was a really ambitious 7th gen game made on an engine that probably was not equipped for what they were trying to do.
I mean,
Yeah.
fucking that game is one of the iconic games from that gen where they cut in like a letterbox to improve performance.
Yes.
It's a 720p game that crops into an Academy aspect ratio to save pixels.
Oh. I only know about the opening.
It's a great opening.
I got a good opening song.
Capcom really needs to bring that trend to having some really ridiculous vocal song back. I loved Indestructible and the one and Fly into Free.
Yeah, it's a shame that licensing that shit seems so nightmarish.
Yeah,
Because Indestructible drops off immediately, which is unfortunate.
Just buy the song. Just hire a band and say, you make a song for us, we own it.
You know, like Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah. Do that for everything. Just give every game one song. You know, a AAA game.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. I want one of those for for Ghouls and Ghosts.
Oh my god.
People wouldn't know how to react. It's like, what is this? What? Well, I think that's all the news.
Wow.
I think it is.
Hey, Bob.
Hey.
What are we doing in the next week?
I don't know, Dan.
Buying an iPad?
I mean, that's not till next Friday. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's true. They won't let you buy that until the 30th, and then it ships in the second half of next month.
Yeah.
You know the cool thing about Apple shit, and people don't understand this. You could go to a store and buy a MacBook right now or a Mac Mini. You can't buy CPUs or GPUs basically anywhere.
I thought you were gonna say a house.
Also that. But anyway, so we've got a few different streams that we need to catch up on. We need to finish Mega Man 8 through 11. We need to do some Igavanias on stream, and our intent is to do a Mortal Kombat Story Mode stream, which, you know, should be up by now or sometime soon. Who knows? Yeah, that'll basically be what we're doing for a bit here. Hey, KZ.
Yeah.
What are you doing in the next week?
I'm gonna stream video games again.
Oh, okay. I really liked your double stream of Kingdom Hearts today. I meant to get you to talk about that earlier. That was good.
Yeah. We had to do back cover in 0.2, so I just put back cover in a little baby window and then
That
played
is
0.2.
smart.
And then someone's like, "You're cheating! I can't hear it." So I had both audio tracks play at once.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. I've been wanting to do that with content for a while, but none of it ever made as much sense as it did for you in that moment.
Yeah, and I'm like, joke's on you guys. I'm running 2.8 on a PS5 and PC. Nothing exploded, and people were like, "This is the worst. I can hear ray chase and fucking battle soundtrack from a different game." And other people were like, "This is really good."
Yeah, no, it's great.
Especially because back cover ended, and I'm like, "Okay, time to loop it."
I missed that part. Holy shit.
Yeah, it ended, and I went, "Okay, let's skip the credits and start it over." But then the worst part happened.
What's the worst part?
10 minutes in, one of the characters literally went, "There's a traitor among us," and my chat fucking had a
Oh yeah, I knew that line was coming, so I bailed. I bailed the stream right then. I was like, oh,
Good.
People in chat already know it's coming, so they're already spamming it.
Yep.
Like, I've got other stuff to do. I'll be back. Okay, anything else? Nothing else? Just streaming some video games?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be done with my marathon this week, probably.
Hey Bob, are you gonna buy the 2 terabyte iPad Pro?
No, I don't need that much memory.
It's only $2 million.
Yeah, I was like, doesn't that more than double the price or something insane?
Probably fucking no.
But a
Also,
lot of space is good.
also, what's it fucking matter? It has a USB port. Just use external storage.
Yeah.
Anyways, hey Phil, what are you streaming in the next week? Which is undoubtedly better than Secret of Evermore, because goddamn. Sonic.
I'll probably do Sonic 1's probably better than Secret of Evermore.
Oh yeah, it is. I dunk on it all the time. It's way better.
How about Sonic 1 on GBA?
No,
I would rather.
that's probably not better.
I would rather play it, but you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna say it's better. I fucking hate Secret of Evermore. Anyways, what do you stream, Phil?
I might play some other NES games that I need to beat. Like I might get that version of The Adventures of Bayou Billy that is all the English stuff superimposed on the Japanese version of the game that is actually remotely playable.
Cool.
Or I might do Star Tropics. I also might stream Genshin Impact when that new update and the PS5 upgrade drops on Wednesday.
Yeah, that's hype.
I'm looking forward to looking across this room and seeing that run on a PS5.
I'm pretty sure it's already 4K 60 or 4K mostly 60. So I wonder what they're even going to do besides just kill loading time.
Yeah, the load time thing's insane.
The loads were way better, and they showed that what they redid the mountain area, and now the clouds look really nice. So that's pretty hype.
Cool. What you looking at over there, Bob?
I'm looking at how the 2 terabytes literally doubled the price of the iPad.
Yeah, fucking course it did. No fucking course it did.
You'll need it. What if you're on a plane every day for the rest of your life?
During COVID, yes.
It's like, how long is he on this plane? Oh, well, that answers that.
It's like
what if you're the character from that one movie based on a true story where you have to live in an airport for the rest of your life?
I think that's Terminal with Tom Hanks.
Oh my god. That's probably a lot more accommodating than the fucking park.
Yeah.
I have an idea.
Gentlemen, I have a new heist. Thank you for listening to this episode of The Big Think Dimension. If you would like to support the GB Podcast Network, head on over to patreon.com/GB Podcast so that way you can get exclusive behind the scenes on stuff, other content. There's a lot of content. It's basically non-ending avalanche of content. So head on over there, become a $5 backer or a Podlord today.